What is going on, everybody? This is episode 29 of Stats Over Politics. My name is Kevin Dent, and we got my man Jaevon Toddy. Man, how you doing today, Jaevon?
Man, I'm feeling great. This is take two, by the way, for all the people that don't know. Yeah, a lot of good stuff happened. A lot of people said things weren't going to happen, but they happened, and Celtics were in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Somehow, we just ended up there. I don't know.
Somehow, some way, man. I can't lie, Toddy, man. You saw me in the group chat, man. I was definitely rooting against you guys, man. But I'm definitely just trolling, man. We're gonna go ahead and get into one of these comments, man. We got Uncle Manny showing love. Let's do this. Got a lot of sports talk to get into, Uncle Manny, and you're all right. Our man Gary's going to be joining us shortly, and Shaun will be here as soon as he gets off of work. So let's dive right on into it, Toddy. We have the Suns losing to the Nuggets. Let me hear your first initial thoughts.
Well, it just shorthanded would probably be the word. Even when the Suns were at full strength, we kind of saw the Nuggets kind of, handle them in those first two games, even though Chris Paul ended up getting hurt in the second game. It's just kind of, are the Nuggets kind of really this good? I think everybody else is kind of talking about all the Suns. Even before the playoffs, the Mavs are going to go to the finals, and there's the Kings who are up and coming. But everybody was kind of forgetting about the best team in the Western Conference, and that was the Denver Nuggets. And Jokic, two-time MVP. Murray off of the second year off of an injury. We got MPJ back there. Solid bench. Bruce Brown's been putting in a lot of work. Jeff Green's been doing rework. What's the white dude's name? Something, is it Christian Brown? I want to say
Chris Braun.
Chris Braun.
Chris Braun.
He's nice. He's cool off the bench. And then Jokic, who's averaging 35 in the playoffs, or at least this past series, he was averaging 35. Jokic kind of just looked unstoppable this whole series. Even when DeAndre was out there, he kind of made him look like a pedestrian, just kind of out there. He was putting him through a world of tricks. DeAndre underplayed. I wasn't really surprised by how he played because I never thought he was like that to begin with. But Jokic definitely showed up. Now, as far as Book and Kevin Durant, they were going to have to score 80 points to win every game. You saw those historic numbers that they were putting up in games 3 and 4 to tie up the series. And, Booker was on like a historic run. There was like numbers that only Michael Jordan has put up these types of numbers. So it was just like, okay, these are the type of numbers that they got to put up to win. Kevin Durant is like, hey, I'm here, but I can still give you 30 points if you need me. And then it's kind of everybody else after that. So, we saw Campaign play well in the beginning of Game 6, but it was kind of just like, all right, you needed more from a Torrey Craig. You needed more from a Landry Shaman who hit 5 threes. I believe it was Game 4. So you need a little bit of help. This team kind of got gutted when they traded for Kevin Durant. And that's kind of the reason why a lot of people were afraid to trade for Kevin Durant when he first requested a trade back this past summer. So it was like, all right, I need 7 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. And everybody was like, I'm not going to give you 7. I might give you 3, maybe a couple players. And so it was always, people were hesitant to try and actually acquire Kevin Durant himself. So when the Suns finally actually did acquire him, they had to give up a couple of key pieces like Cam Johnson, who I think they dearly miss, and Mikal Bridges, who is probably going to be an all-star next year. I don't know. I mean, he showed out this past playoffs. So those were 2 guys they definitely missed off of the bench. So I heard a bunch of those, when the Celtics were down and Devin Booker was on his run. It was like, Devin Booker's better than Jason Tatum and this and that.
The list goes on and on.
I got into a heated argument with my cousin over this debate. He still believes that Devin Booker is better than Jason Tatum. I was like, okay, you know what? You're right. Let's pull up the stats. Let's pull up the elimination game stats. Okay. Let's go back to I had it pulled up. Okay, so yeah, this past game, game 6. So yeah, he's better. In an elimination game, Devin Booker dropped 12 points. He went 4 for 13 from the field in an elimination game. This is, Devin Booker, superstar, top 10 player, this, that, and the third. You know what? It's just one game. Don't even worry about it. Let's go back to last year. Game 7 at home again against Luka Magic. Season's on the line. Winner goes to the finals or Western Conference Finals. Let's see how the star Devin Booker, how he presents himself. Okay. So like I said, this is game 7 of last year. Okay. Stats for Devin Booker: 11 points, 3 of 14 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. Now, this is the same guy that we saw put up 47, 45, like all these crazy stats, and then all of a sudden these elimination games just kind of starting to disappear. Now, I have been a Devin Booker supporter for this is years, goes back to when Shaun was, when he was at Sac State doing his show on Sac State. Shaun will vouch for this, but I've been, calling in saying the Suns will be this, that, and the third. But don't ever mention him with Jason Tatum ever again. Let's just different stratosphere. And we'll get to the Celtics later, but this was a very this wasn't up to his standards that we've seen, like, especially in elimination games. I don't know what it is with Devin Booker in elimination games. He's not really performing, but past 2 years it hasn't been up to par. So the Suns definitely are going. Yeah.
Our guy Evan Tillman talking about, for our audio only listeners, talking about Devin Booker going for 70 points.
Yeah. He's in the group chat that I was going off on. So he's well aware of what I'm talking about. So as far as this offseason, now the Suns obviously ended up firing Monty Williams, which was a huge shock to a bunch of us. I think we'll probably get to that a little bit later. The Suns got to definitely kind of rebuild their bench, and just the stars are obviously Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who we've seen be able to go for 80 points. Now, we don't know what they'll be able to do with Chris Paul and his contract. The amount of money that he's owed coming up is a very hefty price. DeAndre Ayton is good as gone, I believe. A rib injury, I guess. I mean, I didn't really see anything, but I'm not here to, question like, hey, it's game 6. We're down 3-2. We kind of need you out there. So Jock Lawndale is going to be out there, doing what he can against the former 2-time MVP. So I think this team just, get what they can for DeAndre Ayton. I'd say you get as much 3-and-D guys as you can possible. I don't want to say you need another scorer, but probably just another guy who can consistently give you 15 points a game. And then you just kind of round out your bench. I'm not sure what they're looking for in the draft. You maybe try to, find something in the draft, but they're going to be drafted in the 20s. So a lot is going to be needed for this Phoenix Suns team. We saw that they're going to be looking at Ty Lue. I'm not sure what that might look like as far as their team, but Ty Lue is used to coaching stars, coach LeBron, Kyrie, Kawhi, PG, but Ty Lue's on the team already, so he's under contract. So I don't know how that's going to work, but the Suns team is kind of just like, all right. I mean, I picked them to go to the finals, so I was kind of hoping that we would see some Devin Booker and KD Magic, and that we saw the Magic. We saw the 80 points, the 75 to 60 points a game. But to win an actual championship, you need a little bit more from just two guys. So, and I felt like the Nuggets obviously are the better team, and Jokic was unstoppable this entire series. So we're going to be needing to see a lot more from the Suns team going forward. And congrats to the Nuggets. They got them in 6 games. I thought it would at least go 7, but Jokic wasn't really having it. Got him up out of there.
Definitely, man. But before I hit you with this hot take, I just want to let everybody know you are listening to episode 29 of Stats Over Politics. While you guys are here, please give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. It definitely helps us grow. If you see us on TikTok, Instagram, we're everywhere, man. Like I said earlier, we're like the pandemic, man. We're everywhere. Wherever you see us, man, go ahead and throw that thumbs up for us, and it definitely helps us grow. And we appreciate all the love. So, Toddy, I can't fail to mention you bringing up the moves the Suns got to make. So I've been talking to my people. I didn't want to bring it to the group chat. I wanted to save it for the podcast.
His people is him.
No. I won't give up my source. I won't give up my source. DeAndre Ayton, man. The new owner's coming in. Monty's gone. They're talking about Chris Paul being gone. Like you mentioned, they need depth. They got rid of 4 first-round picks, so they don't have any picks. They gutted their bench. What does Sacramento have? So let me break this to you, Toddy.
Please do not
DeAndre
say
Ayton to come to
Rashawn
Sacramento,
Holmes
Rashawn Holmes, and 2 first-round picks. They don't have any picks. So let me tell you how this can work. We move Sabonis to the 4. Yeah, we saw in the playoffs that Looney really just dominated him. DeAndre, I mean, I know it's a funny thing to say because it's recent. We saw the video of him sitting out of bounds. He's 18-10. And that's what the Kings deeply need is, another rebounder, a big body, someone that could test shots. I think he just needs a change of scenery. And with those 2 first-round picks and Rashawn Holmes, for everyone that doesn't know how trades work, you have to max the contracts. Rashawn's on a big deal. You got those 2 first-round picks. Yes, sir. You throw Chris Paul in there. You don't know what you can get back. So, that's a quick way for, I feel like it's a win-win for both teams. The Kings are really pushing to go all in now. So bringing in DeAndre Ayton, and you saw when he had Chris Paul on the floor, he was a lot better. De'Aaron Fox is, a lot of people look at him as a scorer. He had a career high in assists this year with 6. So I feel like DeAndre Ayton can really, really open up that offense.
Can he shoot?
Ayton? Probably not. We don't need him to shoot. Rebound, run the floor, and block shots.
So Rashawn Holmes and 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks.
They don't want Rashawn.
They get to it's a win-win for both teams. They don't got no picks. Hey man, and then they got you can trade it away and bring in somebody. I
feel like y'all need a wing. You guys need a wing and a wing like a scorer for as far as Sacramento.
That's what Keegan Murray is supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't think DeAndre Ayton's the answer. I think he's too soft in my opinion.
Just need a new change of scenery, man. He's been in Arizona his whole life. Let my man spread his
come to Sac. Yeah, he needs come.
Mike Brown's gonna get you right. Mike Brown's gonna get you right.
Coach of the year is gonna get you right.
But because Shaun is not here, you're going to have to get this KD's pop quiz. So the Joker joins a list of 3 players in NBA history to average 30 points and a triple-double. Can you name me those other 2 players?
Regular season or playoffs?
Playoffs.
You said there's 2 other guys?
There's 2 other guys. 30-point, triple-double. LeBron is one of them. In 2007, he averaged 33.6 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists.
That was Cavs LeBron, like young LeBron, unstoppable. I get to
That's
the
the money, LeBron.
I dunk everything. You can't stop me, LeBron. That was the LeBron. Zaltrudis, Ilkauskas, and Aaron Severic. That LeBron. Okay, so we got Jokic, LeBron, 3rd guy. I don't want to say Russ because Russ had a triple-double in the regular season. Playoffs. Wow. Who was really going? Kobe didn't pass the ball that much. Damn, Shaq was saying this. He said, no, because I saw Jokic was like talking about this, and he was like, and Ernie was saying, like, you're like one of 3 guys. And then he asked if Shaq was on that list, and Shaq was like, nah, I don't pass the ball. So I'm like, okay, who would that 3rd? Tim Duncan?
Nope. I'll give you one more guess.
Gotta be a wing. I think it's a wing. It has to be a wing. I don't know.
Toddy, should have stuck with your gut. In 2017, Russell Westbrook, first round, averaged 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists.
In the playoffs?
In the playoffs, 2017, Western Conference first round.
2017. Katie was still on the team, right?
No, I think that's the year he left. I think this is MVP Russ. This is MVP Russ.
Wait, how much did he average? What was his numbers?
38 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. That boy was shooting, and he was getting his own rebound and passing it to himself and doing whatever he can. But let's go ahead and show some more love to the comments. We got our man Lefty World, a.k.a. D. Kenneth Williams, showing some love.
The greatest West Campus point guard in the history ever. Put some respect on it.
I agree. Put some respect on his name, man. Lefty World General. So before we get off this Suns subject, man, we can't talk about the Suns and not talk about Chris Paul. So I'm just going to go over this unfortunate injury history for Chris Paul. 2015, Game 7, hurts his hamstring against the Spurs. 2016, Game 4 against the Blazers, broke his hand.
Who's he playing with?
These are Clippers. Clippers. 2018 versus the Rock. He was with the Rockets. Game 5, hamstring against the Warriors. Suns, 2021, Game 1 versus the Lakers. He has his shoulder injury. And 2023, Game 2 versus the Nuggets. hurts the growing again, man. It's really interesting, Toddy. We see LeBron James, same age as Chris Paul, flourishing, kind of going up that hill. Everyone talked about Father Time chasing LeBron, and no one's really talking about Father Time chasing Chris Paul, man. We only talk about it during the playoffs. What do you think is the next step for him in his career?
He need to retire. I think it's over.
Think it's time?
I think it's time. He's been. I feel like his peak was the finals when he had like 30. Remember, he had scored like 20 points in a row. It was like 15 or something in a row in the finals. That was like Chris Paul. He's old, but he's out here putting in work. That was that Chris Paul. But now it's kind of just like these last couple of years injured. He's averaging like 7 points. Not really. He'll get you 15 assists still, but the scoring aspect is really not there. I definitely lost a step. Now, Chris Paul is probably one of the greatest point guards in the history of just point guards, period. But I just think injuries have kind of caught up to him over time. And even before he got traded to, like you said, in Houston, before he got traded to Phoenix, he was kind of seeing there were a lot of injuries in, I think it was 2016 or 17, the year when the Rockets were up 3-2.
27 missed straight threes.
Game 7 and yada yada yada. That's how that went. They could have beat the KD Warriors. They were up on them. So a lot of people might say that might have been the height of Chris Paul's career, but then he obviously ends up going to the finals after that. So that's why I say Chris Paul in the finals, he was giving people work, buckets. He was really that guy. So he's about to be 39 now. We see, like you said, the two 39-year-olds. LeBron is averaging 30, all NBA players still. And then we got Chris Paul, which is kind of where I think, usually how a 39-year-old should look in the NBA, old, hurt. Like I said, I think this is kind of like, all right, time to hang him up here. I think he's had a great Hall of Fame career without a doubt. Now, obviously, there are no rings attached to that. That's kind of what Chris Paul's like, damn, like, I don't got a ring yet. So I would understand why he's like, I'm playing until I get a ring. I don't care if I got to team up with whoever it is because I need to get one. So I think it's kind of time to hang it up now because he's a little bit too old and he's been getting injured a lot. And he's due a lot of money. That's a lot of things that I think he's still under contract, so I don't know if people are
2 more seasons.
Do I want to pay $40 million for a 39-year-old point guard who's hurt? Not really.
Yeah, so, it's a real sticky situation.
That's the business part of it that kind of comes into it.
Yeah, man, but I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter talking about that. We can really see Chris Paul flourish in a Kyle Lowry role, man. 7th, 8th man, come in, give his 15, 20-minute contribution and keep the pushing, man. That would be better
than Kyle Lowry, though. So.
That's what I'm saying. So that would be a hell of a man off the bench. You don't lead that second unit, but like Carmelo Anthony, it's really hard for those players.
They said I gotta come up. Hey P. They said I gotta come off the bench.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if it's gonna work out that way, man. But let's keep going on the playoffs, man. We got Toddy's Boston Celtics beating the Philadelphia 76ers in 7.
I told y'all.
Toddy told us all week he was letting us know that he believes in the Celtics. So before Toddy comes in and shits on the Celtics or on the Sixers, excuse me, let me just go ahead and throw my thoughts in there, Toddy. So I feel like Joe Mazzulla was sitting in there after Game 5. He was shaking, man. He was like, "Damn, I don't know what's gonna happen." And his iPhone goes,
oh, his phone started ringing.
Email. So, look, brother. I know you think this Robert Williams off the bench thing is working. Cut that shit. You saw what my lineup did. I'm gonna need to see it in the court, man. I'm sitting at home. If you want to get shipped off and be coaching, in the lottery, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to maximize on this potential, you got to do it. So shout out to the Woj podcast. I was listening to it, and the players after the game were talking about how much they loved the lineup, how much they were encouraging to go to this lineup all season. And now it did. And I'm not a Celtic follower like Toddy is, but I would assume that they stick with this lineup. So let's get into this Sixers, man. So now we talked about Coach Monty on the hot seat. We possibly see Doc on the hot seat.
Out of there.
17 and 33 in closeout games.
He's out
and he's lost 10 game 7, which is the most in NBA history. But what a lot of people don't say is you played against Kobe in a game 7, LeBron in the game 7, that 09 Orlando Magic team that went to the finals. They had no KG, and then you had the NBA record holder for the most points in a game 7. Jason Tatum lights you up. Game 7s are a toss-up, man, and that's what they're called game 7s for, and you come in and you see what you can do, but I definitely don't think they should fire Doc Rivers because Joel Embiid has had his best 2 seasons under him. He won his MVP, he was a runner-up, and he averaged 2 back-to-back 30 points. And I was talking to Toddy in the group chat, and I was telling him, man, I'm just trolling, but I want the process to be over. So, Toddy, let me go over the process for you as a Philly fan. So if I'm a Philly fan, I want the process to be over.
Kevin technically is a Philly fan, by the way.
Eagles fan. So since they drafted Joel Embiid in 2014 with the 3rd overall pick, in 2015 with the 3rd overall pick, they drafted Jahlil Okafor.
Oh my God!
Who else did they have picked up in that draft? Miles Turner went 11. Devin Booker went 13. And Porzingis went 4. The very next pick.
That's not all. Yeah, that's not all, guys.
So in 2016, number 1 pick, they take Ben Simmons. Who else was in that draft, you asked? Brandon Ingram went 2. Jaylen Brown went 3. Buddy Hield went 6.
Jesus Christ.
And Jamal Murray went 7. We're not done. The process is not done, ladies and gentlemen.
He went first, right?
Yeah, he went first. 2017, first round pick. They traded.
We traded with him.
We traded from 3 to 1. So they were all in, trusting the process. We're going to trade up for this guy, and he's going to change everything. Markelle Fultz. I'm not going to sit here and shame. He's been playing well. He's on the come up now. He's doing his thing. But let's talk about who else they could have grabbed.
Oh, yeah.
Toddy's guy, number 3, Boston Celtics, traded back for this guy and got Jason Tatum.
Oh, yeah, we got him.
De'Aaron Fox went 5. Lloyd Marketing, the fellow Finney, went 7.
Fellow Finney.
Donovan Mitchell went 13.
Yeah, Mitchell, he went like
Bam Adebayo went 14. In 2018, with the 10th pick,
they
picked Mikal Bridges, Philadelphia born and raised, shipped them off. Didn't even have him on the team.
Traded him.
But Toddy, guess who went 11? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
To the Clips.
Number 14, they had Michael Porter Jr.
Ooh.
And even at 24, Anthony Simons.
Anthony was this IMG out of fresh out of IMG. Yep.
And then the other 2 first-round picks, the process was kind of rolling, so their picks weren't as high. They took Ty Jerome with 24 when Jordan Poole went 28.
Damn.
And the one that they hit on, 2020,
maybe not looking as bad.
pick 21, Tyrese Maxey. And of all those people I named, everybody that the Philadelphia 76ers drafted, 2 of them are on this team. So let's skip over to the draft. They had a chance to sign Jimmy Butler, and they decided to go with Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris over me?
And then he let it be known. So I had to get into the process because I've been going back and forth with Toddy about the process. But as a Philadelphia fan, man, the process is over. And they're gonna hit the streets and they're gonna riot, man. Philadelphia don't play. So Toddy, let's hear from a Celtics fan perspective. What did you see in the series and Game 7?
Well, I mean, just over the years, we've owned the Sixers, so I was never really.
Well, and be said.
I mean, Joel even said himself, he was like, "It's not a rivalry. They kick our ass every year." I mean, what more can the MVP say, right? And he said this years ago. This is like 2 years ago. He said that 2-3 years ago. So obviously we went down 3-2, and I was like, this is not ideal. If you kind of look at the games that we lost, it was the Harden game, game 1. He hits the game winner. We threw the ball. We threw the ball away. Like one of the last possessions, pretty much sealing the game up. The other game we lost, which was in Philly, another James Harden game winner, 3, and I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. The third game that we lost was just kind of like, all right, we were down the entire game, getting our ass whipped. We ended up coming back we came back. I kind of talked about it last week. Ended up losing in overtime. Marcus Smart had a chance to win it. Both times. Could have won it in regulation, could have won it in overtime. But, things don't go the way that they go. Backs against the wall. We go to game 6. I'm just like, all right. We're kind of like it's kind of back and forth. But Jason Tatum is playing like dog shit. The entire game, Jason Tatum is not playing up to his standards. People are saying, what's happening with Tatum? Is he hurt? People are going to say he's probably going to come out with an injury after the game, this, that, and the third. But no, he's just playing like shit. It's okay. It happens. JT ultimately ended up scoring the last, I think it was 14 points. I think he outscored the Sixers in the fourth quarter by himself. He hits 3 threes in a row, and I'm just like, why? And I'm screaming in the group chat. Both group chats that I'm in, screaming, stop playing with Jason. He's just no best. And then he came out in the interview, post-game interview, said it respectfully, I'm one of the best game players in the world. And I'm like, you got to respect that, okay? And then going into Game 7, I'm just like, all right, I think we should win because, all of the sports books are favoring us. I think the lowest I've seen is we were like minus 250 because, yes, I'm a gambling man. So you guys know. This is my first reference to gambling, and it's been 26 minutes.
26 minutes, man.
26 minutes.
That's a record.
Any gambling, nothing. So I was thinking about betting Jason Tatum. I was like, damn. And I saw somebody say, take Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid, because the stars usually show up for Game 7. I'm like, JT's probably going to go for like at least 30. They wanted him to score that was like the average. It was 29 and a half. That was the point total. But I was like, something in my gut was telling me he might have to go insane.
Fuck it.
He might have to go insane. I was like, damn, why didn't? But I was picking a whole bunch of other stuff. Just it was weird. Like I picked him for rebounds because he's like one of the top rebounders in the playoffs, and he did have 13 rebounds. They wanted him to have 10. So he did what he did there. So
easy money.
Appreciate you there. But as far as points go, I was like, damn, he's probably going to drop like 40 maybe. 51. Most points in the Game 7 history. There was a guy by the name of Steph Curry who I was saying was the best player in the world that age, like milk. And then JT proceeds to have the greatest Game 7 in Game 7 history. So it's kind of just like, all right. So like he's entering that chat like, hey, I'm one of the best players in the world. You have to put some respect on my name. And, I think it was just a remarkable performance, especially at home. You could just see just how he was scoring. It was just like, you got to figure out how to stop. He's making step back threes. He's going to the basket. He's going to the line. He's getting his teammates involved to some point. He's blocking shots, getting steals. He's doing a little bit of everything. And then, the cherry on top was obviously the 51 points. And when JT plays like that, it's like we can't lose. So I want to give a shout out to the Lakers for knocking out the defending champs. So now I'm just like, all right, we're going into damn it. We gotta play Miami. We gotta play Jimmy Butler. Oh my God. Celtics open up as minus 500 favorites to win the series. It didn't say how many games. You guys want me to give my predictions? I'll give my predictions. Celtics in 5 games. We'll see.
Oh, hold on. We gotta wait. We don't get into that.
They wondering what's going on. I'm just gonna tell them Celtics in 5 games. Jimmy Butler's probably gonna give me a 50-point. I say a 35-point game. Jimmy's probably gonna give us, and we're gonna be like, all right, you scored 35 now. Gabe Vincent, go ahead, do your thing. Go, hey, Duncan Robinson. I see you over there, boy, coming off the bench. He hit these 3. Duncan, give me 20, Duncan. Give me 20. And then bam, he's gonna come in, grab all the rebounds, do this and that, and he's gonna get out there and do it. All right, Bam, give me 20. Give me 20, Bam. You can do it, right? And then can't forget about my boy Max Strus. Man, Strus! Can I get 7 threes like he hit before? Like how many threes he hit? What was in I think it was against the Knicks. He had like 6, 7 threes. Gotta get 6, 7 threes, big dog. So I don't expect those. I'm not expecting them to kind of come out. I feel like, like when someone's like holding your head and then somebody's swinging, that's what I feel like it's going to look like. So he had a good run. I think right now it's kind of just like, all right, cool. The Heat, they're a good story. First team ever and playing team to get to the finals or Western or Eastern Conference Finals. They're making history, man. 8 seed. They're going to do it. Cinderella. They're not even at full strength. So I think Kevin said something about what's it called? It's supposed to be coming back. Tyler Hero. Yeah, I'll see that.
About that man.
I'll see what I believe. But Tyler Hero, I'm not worried about him either. So now Kevin goes, well, they beat y'all in the bubble. Don't forget that. They beat you in the bubble. And I'm like, bro, Kemba Walker was on that team. Like, we're going all the way back. It's just Brad Stevens was still our coach at the time. So this is before Ime, before Missoula and all that other stuff. In the bubble, I guess the bubble was real, guys. I mean, it's the bubble rematch. So Celtics in 5.
So before we move on, we have breaking news. Our host, our guy, Shaun Hoko, has come into the comments. For all of our audio-only listeners, like we mentioned, Shaun is missing.
Hold on,
he is on the road working a baseball game.
Or the Sixers in 6 games. He did say that.
He did. So when he gets here, we're gonna have to let him know. So I saved it to the end, man. I had the audio clip and everything ready, Toddy. You messed it all up for me. I was ready for you. I was ready. I'm telling you, I'm here for all the bad takes. And then we also have to give our good love to our man, Skull in the chat, Tavius32, aka Wesley, and then we
third in the division. Watch.
Third in the division. And Shaun also had to let you know, Toddy, he does not believe you. He definitely thinks you said gambling at least 20 times in our 27 minutes.
Run the tape back. Shaun.
Run the tape back. So you mentioned the Lakers knocking down the Warriors. The Los Angeles Lakers were able to knock the Warriors out in 6, the defending champs. So, Toddy, the question I've been hearing, all the talking heads, all everyone's asking is one question. Is the dynasty over? What is your response?
I will say no. I'm trying to think. Just, pre-KD won the championship. This was all on Draymond Green's podcast, so he was kind of talking about everything. Won a chip. What was it, 2015? They needed some help. Kyrie K. Love, they were unavailable. LeBron had to average 36 points, take him to Game 7. Delva, the Curry stopper, had to do what he had to do. It took that, and then they ended up, coming back the next year. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are healthy this time. They go to 7 games. They give up a 3-1 lead. Kyrie Irving does what he does. His game winner, they lose. Damn, we lost. Let's go get Kevin Durant. Let's go get him. See what he's up to. Free agent. Visit him in the Hamptons. They go on a run. They probably could have won. Kevin Durant doesn't get hurt in the 2019 finals against Toronto. They probably win 3 in a row. That probably ends up happening. But injuries are part of the game. So the Warriors kind of took a little hiatus. Steph gets hurt. Draymond's hurt. Clay's out for like 2 years, damn near. Actually, over 2 years, he's out. They're like, all right, don't forget about us. We're kind of in the weeds. They kind of just had to regroup and regather. They ended up getting they got a top 2 pick. Ended up drafting James Wiseman. And along the way, they drafted Kuminga, Moses Moody. They ended up drafting Moses Moody. So they ended up getting him. Jordan Poole, I think, was in one of those drafts. So they kind of were slowly, building their bench up. And, when that core 3 ended up coming back, they ended up beating the Celtics in the finals last year, blah, blah, blah. So now they come back. We've kind of been seeing signs. Steph ends up getting hurt early in the year. I think he ends up getting hurt twice this year. So he played like 50 games, I think. 51, 52 games.
I got to interrupt you, man. We got another breaking news, man. We got our guy, the one and the only, Garry Sting joining.
He's got the Jordan 11 shirt on. That's a
Hey, man, he came in with that right stuff on.
Come on, man.
Gary's always going to show up with that shit on. So, Toddy, please continue your segment about the Warriors dynasty.
Let's hear what Von preaching.
Well, so, kind of, Garry, just fill you in a little bit, just talking about the Warriors and just how they've won with KD, without KD, and post KD, and they beat us in the finals last year, the year before that. So just kind of going back to it, they figured out ways to win championships in many different ways. And we've seen them kind of just like pull shit out of their ass. Now, this following year, it was kind of like the writing was kind of on the wall, Steph getting hurt multiple times, them going like 11-30 something on the road. It was kind of like, all right, hey, championship teams really don't do that. That's not something that's normal. But they somehow managed to win a playoff series. Steph, erupts for 50 points in a Game 7, and that kind of catapults them to round 2. And then ultimately it was kind of like, all right, we don't really have an answer for LeBron James. Austin Reeves is out here giving us buckets, giving us like 16 a game. Obviously Anthony Davis, that rim protection that really wasn't with Sacramento in game 1, it was definitely there in game 2 or the second series, the semis. And the Lakers just had guys that they could just put on Steph Curry, and they were getting games like Lonnie Walker games. We saw Steph sign Lonnie Walker's jersey and was like, "I'll never forget you what you did in game. What was it, 5 or 6?" So the Lakers just had a lot more to throw at the Warriors, and I thought that's what ultimately ended up getting them. Now, I was ultimately wrong saying that the Warriors were going to win in 6 games. Now we have Garry and we have Kev, who predicted this to actually happen in 6 games. So if you guys would have put some money on this when the series started, you guys would have won a little bit of cash there. So I'll throw it to my boy Garry, and he'll take it away from here. See what he's got to say about the series.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Kev said it, like you said, I think we predict this one right. Lakers in 6, and I think that proved what they like. Steph and them said, Draymond, them, Clay said, Lakers made them play their game. They felt their presence being long and big body on the wings and in this paint, and with Anthony Davis guarding Knight, letting those easy floaters and those easy layups they have after people push up on them on the 3-point line, and that was what hurt them at the end of the day. And it's funny that you say that because it's like, I like this question. I think, Kev, I don't know if you posed it into the podcast yet, but like, is a dynasty over? And then I wanted to touch on that real quick. So I'm like, is a dynasty real over? I never felt it was even over, even when they lost KD. And especially when Clay and them got injured, I felt like I think I remember Stephen A preaching they're going to be back. And I always felt the same way. I felt like they were going to be back because I didn't see why not. Steph is one of the greatest ever, with the greatest shooter ever, and the greatest shooting backcourt ever. So I knew they would be always come back, and I kind of still feel the same way. I know everyone would say like Clay and things like didn't have a good series. Actually, the worst series they had together shooting wise. But I think realistically, the main thing is if they bring the whole clan back in terms of, all right, I don't know if you guys seen this, but I think Bob's Myers, I don't know how realistic this is, but he's been contemplating, if he wants to retire or get his new deal with the team as well. So the guy actually putting this whole team together, is he still going to be here? You know what I'm saying? And like even Steve Kerr, like, I don't know, obviously I don't think they can get rid of Steve Kerr any which way because he's kind of bonded by the hip with Steph Curry, but it's just still like, as long as I feel like they can retool this team up, I feel like they kind of remind me of the Spurs guys, even though, they're going to have this long 10, 15-minute year, 10-year to 15-year period where they're going to keep getting good in spurts and they're always going to be there in the mix. I don't know if they'll be winning every year, but I feel like they're going to be able, as long as they can get some help for Curry, I think they're going to be able to keep this dynasty alive. They can get more, more wing help, just not Andrew Wiggins. Maybe get a big man they can play better pick and roll game with, not just with Draymond. Just to switch things up. Something out of hold on. I've been seeing that. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. So it's the dynasty over, in my opinion, no. And I know you guys probably touch on the Warriors Lakers itself. The Lakers side we can touch on later, but I just feel like, hey, like we said, and one conversation I do just want to pull out. There was a little bit of chatter. I don't know if y'all seen this. Curry, if he beats in this series, he is a case in the GOAT debate or better than LeBron or whatever. I don't know if Vaughn was preaching this. He's smiling over there. If you fed into that. I was saying cut that bullshit, BS how to say bullshit before and cut it after. And there ain't no way it's going to be after because last time my guy Curry is one of the best players ever, but he ain't beat Braun when Braun is fully ready to go. Last time he beat Braun was with KD, and before that, he lost. Simple as that. And we'll give it to him the first year he beat him, even though literally had Dellavedova on ICU, whatever he had him on. That's basically all he had that series after Kyrie went down. And Kevin Love got his arm pulled out that year. Remember versus the Celtics? Yep. So it's like that rivalry. I know the numbers, Steph probably got more wins, but at the end of the day, when it's kind of head to head, I think LeBron got him in that. So I don't want to hear that conversation again. Simple as that.
So before I give my spill on it, Toddy, we have our guy Shaun's listening. He let you know he was listening, and he heard you, Toddy. So for the audio only listener, Shaun said he did say Lakers in 6. So you can give him all the shit you want for picking the Sixers, but he did call the Lakers series, right? And we also have another loyal listener, Uncle Manny. I think the championship dynasty is over. They are older, and the bench isn't that good. Also, we have Shaun again pop in the comments. For our audio-only listeners, the Warriors should have never given up on Wiseman, and I agree. And so does Uncle Manny. So Steve Kerr came out and said, quote, "This team maxed out. This wasn't a championship team. I think the dynasty is over. If I would have had some more time earlier before the podcast, I would have had the tequila and I would have poured a shot and we would have poured one out for him because the dynasty is over. like Garry mentioned, there's a lot of people that want money. Yeah, they want to stay together, but money talks. We mentioned with Bob Myers' new contract, he's the one with the blueprint. He's the one who put this all together.
Draymond, Clay, everybody.
He brought everybody. He brought Kevin Durant in. So he brought everybody in, man. And for the Warriors to go 19-0, and this is the first time they lost in the West. It's definitely shocking to see. And I think the season was kind of off to a rough start with Draymond punching Jordan Poole. For them to come off a championship, and then you have that. It's really hard to see it, but like you guys mentioned, they had the opportunity in the dynasty to draft some guys and help bring in some talent. And with James Wiseman and Moses Moody, and we have Jonathan Kuminga, if they want to keep the dynasty going, they have to put all their eggs in the Steph Curry basket. So that means you're trading Kuminga, you're trading Poole, you're trading Moody, you're whatever you can get, you're gonna go all vest. And
do you do that, Kevin? Though I would if I'm the GM.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to keep the dynasty going, that's the only way you can do it.
I would. I'll trade everyone to keep
trade everyone, and you keep it going. You keep that core three together, and you do whatever you can. But I can't come on here because all I heard was, Kevin, have you forgot about Game 6 Clay? So let me make some very, very, very clear that people don't talk about.
It's crazy. Garry? We ain't seen Game 6 Clay since that one time.
Hey, man.
And the funniest thing is when people were saying Game 6 Clay at my jobs, I was like, can we get a game LeBron first? We haven't got a LeBron game, which we did. Anyways,
we did. Go ahead, Garry mentioned. So, we all talked about Game 6 Clay. No one wants to talk about Game 6 LeBron. So everyone sit back. I'm going to take us down memory lane. So 2023, the game that we just saw, 30 points, 9 boards, 9 assists. 2018, Eastern Conference Finals, 46 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and shooting 52% from the field. 2012 Eastern Conference Finals, 45 points, 15 boards, 5 assists, 73 from the field. 2016 NBA Finals, 41 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. And you know why he did it? Because Mr. Dent was in the building. I don't like to show this a lot, but hey, man, I was there. You see the year. Mr. Dent was there, and Brown
put on that sign by.
And Brown put on
bunch of Warriors? Did you get this?
I went to go see LeBron James. It just happened to be
No, I'm talking about the back. It's all signed. Is that part of the shirt?
Oh, that's part of the shirt. Oh, hell no.
I thought the whole Warriors team signed it.
Steph.
Nah. So in 2013 Finals, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists with 16 points in the fourth. 2020 Finals, 28 points, 14 rebounds with 10 assists. 2016 Eastern Conference Finals, 33 points, 6 assists, 11 boards. 2010 Eastern Conference Finals, 27 points, 19 boards, 10 assists, 3 steals,
like 12 years.
1 block. 2008 Eastern Conference Round 1, 27 points, 13 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. And let's just start off with the first one, 2006 Eastern Conference Round 1, 32 points, 7 boards, and 7 assists. So if we're going to pump the Game 6 Clay narrative, we need to start pushing this Game 6 LeBron narrative. That's all I'm saying.
Straight up.
There's no real narrative. I mean, like I said, OKC, we get it, down 3-1. They came back. Klay Thompson, Game 6, he loses control. And we're just like, oh, my God, Game 6 Klay. We never saw that after.
It's like 4 Game 6s.
Oh, I do got to clarify now. Vaughn, do you think the dynasty's over? Did you say yes or no? I know Kev said yes. I think no.
I said no.
Okay. Kev, real quick then. When you think the dynasty's over, are you saying they're not winning another chip or they're not going to knock on the finals door again? Like you see them not going to past second round? What do you see in the future of this team now?
I think they don't touch the finals again. The West is only getting better. We have a healthy Nuggets team. All we wondered in the offseason what a healthy Nuggets team looked like. We have the Ja Morant led Memphis Grizzlies. I know we have all the problems, and we'll get into that later, but the Grizzlies are coming. We have the Sacramento Kings that are coming. We have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant in Phoenix. The West is getting a lot tougher. So they're going to have to figure it out, but I definitely don't see them hitting another finals.
I don't disagree with you. I can't not believe in a guy who's still in his young prime, who can still shoot the lights out the building. As we've seen in Game 7 versus our Sacramento Kings, the man dropped 50 on us. So I just can't say it's quite over, Kev. But I can see him not. I can see if you're saying not making the finals, that's maybe I would be betting against it. But if I'm betting them still making a lot of noise and still being the way of a lot of people winning rings, I think Steph Curry and the Warriors are still going to be a major problem.
Definitely. So before we move on to the next comment, our man Shaun is in the comments. For audio only listeners, only Kevin would find a way to give a Clay gimmick to Bron. You know, I always got to show LeBron love. Garry came on with the LeBron shirt, so we had to keep it going. So let's keep this thing moving. We're moving on to Toddy's worst nightmare. The Miami Heat beat the Knicks in 6. So Garry, since you're just joining us, man, let me get your thoughts on Game 6 and just the series in general.
Man, the Miami Heat versus the Knicks. All right, we were all wrong pretty much on this one. I think the only person that might have been right, maybe
or Shaun.
Yo,
It was
Shaun,
Shaun,
definitely wasn't Kevin.
Shaun might have been right. No, yeah, I remember me and Kev picked. I remember Vaughn, you picked the Knicks too. And looking back, I even said it that day when I picked. That wasn't that. That was like the worst pick, and I had a feeling. And when I seen that Jimmy Butler, I don't know if y'all seen that video today he made earlier like this year when he said, "I'm coming to Boston, I'm coming to Boston."
Boston.
I was like, why did I just forget who Jimmy is as a person? How did I just forget who he is as a person? What this team does in the playoffs? And it's just crazy. But let's give these guys some props. Like these guys been knocking on I don't know how many years they've been knocking on the door of the Eastern Conference Finals, but at least last 6, 7, 8 years, they've been in at least 4 or 5 times versus the Celtics too. So it's just crazy how many times this team, without LeBron, post LeBron, I'm not gonna lie, is still knocking on the door with the Heat culture and Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra from head to bottom down all the way to Udonis Haslem. They're just, been knocking on the door and they just keep on grinding and have a way to win. And it just proves in the NBA that yeah, talent is everything, but having the right mesh of people and having people buy into something really can take you a long way. And that's what the Miami Heat simply have proven right now. And they beat a young team that, is hungry and it's coming. And sad to say, man, that game 6 by Brunson was all but really good till the very end. And you could tell inexperience, like I said last podcast, inexperience, and that's just not having the due diligence to stay solid on both ends of the floor without making no mistakes, cost them at the end of this game. It's going to cost you at the end of the series. And, they got taught a lot of learning lessons for this New York Knicks team. I'm really excited to see what they do because I always kind of in the beginning of the year, I was kind of calling the kings of the East, just with all the lefties and things of that nature. They're probably better than us on defense, but just get into the lane. They kind of Sabonis and Randall got the same body. We have 2 point guards who are, I would say more, obviously Darren's way faster than Brunson, but in terms of just getting buckets in the lane and things of that nature, we're kind of built in the same. We got young guys like they do like quickly and things of that nature. So we got our young guys. So kind of see them in the similar same way. They obviously got farther than us. So congratulations to them. But at the same time, I feel like they got a couple, at least one move away to really make some noise. I really do still believe in Brunson. I feel like next year he's going to be an all-star next year, and he's just going to keep climbing the ladder, especially in the East. So you give them that type of team, that type of loss. I don't feel like you just can't put nothing against. They just got outplayed. Basketball IQ basically just beat them in this one. It's simple as that. That's all you can bring it down to in this particular performance. And what you want to say anything about the Heat? I think the Heat are going to be tough to beat. Just kind of crazy guys. They were kind of saying the bubble was nothing, but they got all the same teams in the bubble. They can't say things bubblicious now, Vaughn. They can't say the Lakers ring is LeBron's ring is bubblicious now. I just want to say that. Just make sure LeBron's ring's not. So hey, let's kick it to Vaughn. What you think of Vaughn? What you ready for the Heat coming your way?
Oh man, I guess we're the extinguisher because the Heat is going to get put out in 5 games.
You already made your prediction.
Yeah, he dropped it early in the pod.
Minus 500 favorites we opened as. I don't know why. Something's just maybe the Heat are just kind of Cinderella team, 8 seed. To be honest, we might sweep them. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We might sweep them just because
y'all ain't sweeping nothing.
Okay, hey, Jimmy Butler. Who else? Give me who else is gonna drop? Who else we got?
Abadio. I'm saying his name totally wrong right now. Bam.
Yeah, Bam. Not worried about him. So, like I said in the past, let's just go off the series. The Knicks just kind of ran out of gas. I think their only win was really they won Game 6. I feel like that was a game that they were probably going to win anyway. Jalen Brunson, I think we learned a lot about this guy. You can probably build around Jalen Brunson. He's a guy that kind of came in and just like, all right, this is the guy. He's the go-to guy. I think this is Jalen Brunson's team. Used to be Julius Randle's team, but he's kind of moved. I think Julius Randle's going to have a tough time of adjusting to becoming a number 2. Now, granted, he made an All-NBA team, All-Star, so he was eligible to make an All-NBA team. So now he's kind of like, all right, I'm the All-NBA guy. I was the guy. They paid me this money. Blah blah blah. This is my team. But Jalen Brunson's play otherwise has kind of just been like, nah, I'm the guy. We saw him drop 41 in game. What was this? Game 6. So game 5 was the other game that they won. My bad. So game 6, Jalen Brunson, who dropped 41 in this game, he was kind of looking around like, hey, anybody else? They only lost by like 4 points. It was close. They ended up covering that game, and the Heat were favored like 7 points. And I was like, that's steep. 7 points is usually steep. Now the Celtics were favored by 7.5, and we won by 40. But this past game, I was kind of just like, I don't really know if the Heat are going to cover this game. But the Knicks ended up, this game was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. People expected it to be a blowout, going back to Miami, and then Jimmy just to go out. But no, Jalen Brunson came up, and I think they were winning down the stretch with like 5 minutes left. They were winning that game. So I feel like a lot of Knicks players, fans, the city, New York itself, we already saw them stomping out a Julius Randle cutout. So I think this Knicks team is going to have to figure out a way to build around Jalen Brunson. Do you trade Julius Randle? I mean, you could trade him. His stock is super high right now if you think about it.
It's always up
NBA,
and down though.
I would say it's always up and down.
All NBA. What was he second?
2 seasons ago.
No, he made All NBA this year.
Oh, you're right. He did make all.
He made All
Yeah.
NBA this year, so he's an All NBA player, trading for an All NBA guy, 20 and 10 game a guy. Kings, come get him. I think you trade a Jalen, or not Jalen Brunson, a Julius Randle, and see, you might be able to get an all-star back player, Mikal Bridges maybe guy, and kind of pair him with Jalen Brunson. That would be a crazy trade. Brunson to the Knicks,
All the
or not Brunson,
boys.
or Mikal, the Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, and kind of just all the Villanovas. That's Villanova. And you kind of see what you go from there. But I think this team just kind of has to figure out a way to build around Jalen Brunson. And is Thibodeau going to be the guy? Maybe not. And now they were 4th in the East and they won a playoff series. You could count that as a winning. This is a good season for them. So New York thinks otherwise. They think that they're a championship team right now. So what do you do to kind of make this team better? You probably end up needing to find a new coach, and you trade Julius Randle. And yeah, you can put me on TikTok, do that. Bonnie thinks that the Knicks should trade Julius Randle. If they want to get better, probably.
It depends what you're trading him for now. It depends on what you're trading him for now. I wouldn't be trading top 6 big men in the league for no reason.
DeAndre?
If you don't got to. If you don't got to, I would actually want to keep.
They got Mitchell Robinson. They got what's the other backup dude? Another tall, the tall white dude. I forgot his name. Hargrave.
Yeah.
So before we get off to the Heat and beating the Knicks, let's give the Miami Heat some love. They have the Miami Heat have made the Eastern Conference Finals the 3 out of the last 4 seasons, and the only year they didn't make it was the shortest off season in NBA history. No team in the NBA, I repeat, no team in the NBA has more playoff wins since the Heat got Jimmy Butler. The Heat have won 33 games, Celtics 32, Bucks 29. And let's give Eric Spoelstra some love. Everyone considers him to be one of those guys when you talk about the coaches. You put him in that George Popovich, and you put him with the top of the Steve Kerrs, and he's just showing why he's one of the best coaches in the league. He's never won a Coach of the Year, and in this 2 playoff series, he knocked off 2 coaches that won,
which is sad.
And he's an 8th seed from the play-in. Let's not even just talk about the 8th seed; they're coming from the play-in. So the Miami Heat going in.
Chicago was up on them.
Hey man, like Garry mentioned, Jimmy Butler said he's coming. So before we move on, Garry, you missed it. We got Shaun in the comments. We were talking about the Suns and what they were going to move with DeAndre Ayton. And I suggested an idea. I was talking to my peoples. I didn't want to put it in the group chat. I wanted to wait for the podcast to get everyone's live reaction. So, Shaun, if you're listening, you might want to pull over because this is about to get crazy. So, Sacramento Kings trade 2 first-round picks, Rashawn Holmes for DeAndre Ayton.
It's not going to get it done.
But why, Garry? You might ask me why. We all saw that
2
Sabonis
picks
got destroyed by Looney. So
you're not wrong.
And the Suns gave up 4 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. So now they get Rashawn Holmes on a nice contract that they can move those 2 first-round picks and Rashawn Holmes for another player. So it could be a 3-team trade or however it got to work. But what are your quick thoughts on that suggestion?
I think my quick thoughts on it is just kind of what Vaughn said, 2 picks and Rashawn Holmes. Well, Rashawn Holmes is not going to obviously hold that much value. Love Rashawn, but it's not going to hold that much value at the moment, no matter how much.
I said, hell nah.
I think Shaun don't want to give 2 picks. I would be a little itchy. Okay, only reason I'd be a little scratching my head is just because I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the guy, but obviously, Monty McNair. I'm thinking right. Monty Williams, obviously, is a great coach, and a lot of people hold him in a high regard. So it's like if he's not getting to him, Chris Paul's not getting to him. Booker, who just grinds can't get to him. It's just like maybe he needs to go somewhere, Kevin, where he could just be the guy, the second option, and we're just dominant. And for us, he will not be that. He will actually have maybe even a lesser role, or maybe about the same role for himself, or what he had on the Suns. And yeah, my uncle said no 8. Yeah, he's slow. My uncle said no 8 in. We would have to change our offense, and he is slow. I don't know if I agree with all that. We wouldn't change. That's what I'm saying. Kev, what you want him for? You want the big body who can score a little bit.
Get
but we need him for, first of all, way cheaper. We need way cheaper. That's the main thing I was going to say.
But think about it. We're in a win-now situation, so we're going to be picking in the late 20s anyway, so we're not going to use these picks.
I'd rather
DeAndre Ayton is 25 years old, coming off of 18 and 10, averaging 2 blocks. Imagine that.
We didn't see that, though, in the playoffs. That's what's irritating.
We're throwing out Alex Lynn. We could be throwing out DeAndre Ayton. I'm just saying,
we didn't see that, though.
We wouldn't have seen Looney come in here. I think, DeAndre Ayton's been in Arizona his whole life. I was telling Todd he just got to spread his wings and fly. He just got to get to a new environment, and there's no coach like Mike Brown. Bring it in, but let's get to these comments. Jesse says Ayton is a big no, but he does throw in a nice little suggestion. Let's keep it quick. How about Pascal Siakam? What are your guys'
thoughts? That's the wing that y'all can get. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna win. Oh, we'd be dangerous with Pascal Siakam. Oh, we would be dangerous. That'd be finals written all over us.
That too, y'all probably might. Yeah, 2 little first-round picks for Rashawn Holmes to see if they go for that. Probably not.
But they're not going for that.
You might have to go Rashawn.
Masai Jury said, "Don't come even close to Canada."
To be honest, y'all might have to give up somebody. Somebody might have to go.
We're talking about Pascal Siakam, a previous All-NBA player, so let's dive into it. The All-NBA teams were announced, so I'm going to go through them real quick, and we'll get your guys' thoughts on each teams. So with the All-NBA third team, we have the Sacramento Kings, not 1, but 2 players. So we have De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings. We have LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Julius Randle, and Domantas Sabonis. Do you guys see any problems with this NBA All-Third team?
Sounds right.
No, you want to go through all of them? Or want to go through each one?
I want to do all of them individually.
Okay. I don't see nothing with the third team, to be honest with you. I know you guys, if you guys just want to go overall, what you guys think you guys have a problem with in any which order, I'm down for that because I have really no – to be honest with you, if I want to start off, I got no problems with none of these teams, Kev. I feel like everyone who got snubbed either didn't play enough games. I know who you're going to bring again and play enough games and then play at the highest level that we're used to seeing. But go ahead. Let me hear what y'all think.
You got anything about that? The third team, Todd, or you agree?
I mean, it's what it should be. I think, everybody on there is deserving. Dame averaged 30. LeBron averaged 30. Julius Randle averaged 20 and 10. Sabonis, De'Aaron, they were 2 of the best players on one of the best teams in the Western Conference. So, I mean,
and they were getting buckets too, Vaughn.
What's there to not love? I mean,
damn. So I really, really hate to be that guy.
Hold on, wait. There's a lot
of
people
taking off, Kev.
There's a lot of people that Mr. Dangle missed the list. I call it the $40 million dangle. That's what I call it. The $40 million dangle. Ja Morant. Now, he's a guy who averaged more points, more assists.
I just got that what you said. He's just a $40 million dangle.
The $40 million
I was wondering what you're doing with your phone, too. Yeah. Why is he showing his cracked phone right now?
So Ja Morant, to everyone who was not getting what Toddy just got to do for the audio only listeners.
The $40 million dangle. That's what I'm calling it.
Holding the gun in the video, just to make it more clear for everybody.
The pea shooter. That's what we call it. Now he was recently, that's a whole nother topic. But he averaged more points and assists than his numbers were better than De'Aaron, and they were second in the West. So A lot of people would probably argue that he should have been on it over De'Aaron Fox, but obviously, if that wouldn't have happened, then probably De'Aaron doesn't get on the list. But shit happens, and it went how it went. So I think the list is right still. I still would have given it to De'Aaron over Ja, even though his numbers were better, just given off the season, how everything was, and they broke the 17-year, 16-year curse, and they got to the playoffs. So they're one of the best teams in the West. So, even when Ja got suspended, the Grizzlies were winning games too. So I think De'Aaron is a little bit more valuable to his team than Ja is valuable to Memphis now, even though he's the franchise player. We all get that. Memphis still finds ways to win without him.
All right, so I agree with the Ja Morant, but what you guys aren't saying is Damian Lillard only played 58 games. So if we're gonna pull the injury card, the guy that I think should have made this list, we've talked about him earlier, the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson, 68 games, which was 12 more than Dame. He averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 50% from the field, and 41% from three. If that third team guard spot, I think it should have went to Jalen Brunson over Damian Lillard. I get it, Dame's the guy, but when are we gonna start putting win into the equation?
30 points he averaged.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one because like the third team is like it's like these all NBA teams. Are we basing it? Okay, I can't wait till next year. I think the next year's gonna be the best 15 players. I think they're gonna do basically in a sense like you pick 5, 5, and 5. So then we're gonna see. Are you picking Brunson over Dame, Kev? I don't know. I don't think you're doing that. I'm pretty sure you're not picking Dame. I'm pretty sure you're picking Dame over Brunson, Kev.
He averaged 32 points this year. My bad.
On a team that didn't do nothing.
Yeah, Jalen exactly.
Brunson arguably could have been an all-star.
Hey, this is the thing that I always get into it with the other group chat that I'm also in. All NBA is a individual.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it more personal? That's what I'm saying. I think it's more personal. I would take it more personal, Kev. MVP, I put more team because you're valuable to the team.
Hey, man. Just throwing the Jalen Brunson love out there, man. Just sprinkle
it's hard to say that too because it's like, all right, our Kings guys, you can maybe shit on Sabonis if you want to, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe the scoring numbers are there, but obviously the rebound numbers are clearly over the top and leading the league in rebounding. But I can see that one. I thought you were going to say D-Book. D-Book. No one mentioned D-Book.
Not after that performance. But
then again, this is regular season.
Regular season, I know, but you bad taste in my mouth. But yeah,
oh man, he had one bad game. Kev trying to go by himself. Literally scored 40, 50 by himself.
But whatchamacallit missed like a couple months.
And I also seen another. I'm looking at a snub list right now too. If you want to mention someone else, I guess. But I can kind of see this one. I won't root for it, but I know some people who would. And I guess I'll play the DA devil's advocate right now. I would never say this, Kev, but I can see. I guess someone want to say Kevin Durant over LeBron. I can maybe see it. I guess. Because I guess they both played about the same much. I think LeBron didn't play about the same much as him. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't think no player that's probably getting traded midseason is probably going to be making an All-NBA team.
All right. So let's get into this All-NBA second team. We have Toddy's Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown, Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler, Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, the Joker, the two-time MVP with the Denver Nuggets, and then we have Donovan Mitchell. What are your guys' thoughts on the second team?
Sound right? Sound about right. I probably would have put Jokic on the first.
I was gonna get to that on the next. I agree.
Probably would have put Jokic.
Yeah, I find it so hard to talk about this because now the perspective of the playoffs are so ingrained in your head. So it's like kind of like I feel like maybe in the season we were talking about Embiid for sure should have been first team. So I can see how it's a little bit. Even Donovan Mitchell now, obviously he had a crazy regular season, but now again the bad taste of the play. I feel they dropped these at the wrong time, Michael. They should drop these right after the playoffs, no, right after the regular season, right then and there. But it just looks bad. But like now, Jimmy looks amazing. But I know for a fact Jimmy was not looking amazing at the end of the regular season.
It looked good. Well, even an All-Star, and he made second team All-NBA, which is nuts.
That's what I'm saying. So the perspective of these looking back at it, like it's like a couple months, like I guess 2-3 months after the regular season's done, 2 months. It's just kind of crazy. But
they say that it's a regular season award, but then they watch the playoffs and be like,
yeah, no, you're not making it.
Yeah,
so let's move on to the first team with the First team All NBA, we have with the Milwaukee Bucks, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Dallas Mavericks, we have Luka Doncic. Philadelphia Sixers, Joel Embiid. Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Garry, go ahead and hit that check mark. Go ahead and hit the
Give it
check
to him.
mark.
I give it
And
to
then we
him.
finish with another Boston Celtic, Jason
I just
Tatum.
hate seeing
This is
Curry
the
second
one.
and him
This is
first.
the one team that I had no problem with. I really was rooting for Shea to get first team. You know what? He single-handedly is making OKC relevant again. They made they were literally
Josh
halfway
Giddey, I
in the
was talking
playoffs.
earlier.
Josh Giddey, and they didn't even have Chet Holmgren. So it's really going to look interesting to see what this OKC Thunder gets into in the future. So let's go. You got anything to say, Garry?
I do want to nitpick real quick before Vaughn for you. I can nitpick here. Obviously, I said all these guys are deserving. Congratulations, yada, yada, whatever you want to say. Give them all their flowers as much as they deserve. It's really hard to make this type of team, and being one of the top 15 best players in a sense in your position is great in itself. But if I do want to nitpick, I'm looking at it now, I might have put Donovan Mitchell over, this might be a little crazy, over Shea, just because I like how his team, like you want to say, we're basing this off the helping a team out. He helped his team get pretty far and had a great regular season, keep him a top 4 seed and had him relevant all year, which was a lot because of him too, even though his team was obviously bound to do good things this year anyway because they're not going through last year. He obviously took them to the next step, and I guess obviously Shea took his team to the next step. So I feel like both players helped take their team to the next step. It might be a different step, obviously, but I still feel like both teams helped their team immensely take the next step for the franchise. So that's the only thing we can kind of nitpick. But obviously, Shea beat him in scoring probably out the window. Even though we do remember that 70 ball that Donovan Mitchell dropped.
Oh, that was a nasty one. So before we move on to the next topic, I just want to let everybody know you are watching episode 29 of Stats Over Politics with Kevin Dent, Jaevon Toddy, and our man Garry Singh. Just to let you guys know, we really appreciate all you guys tuning in every Monday. You know, we're doing our best to give you guys this content nice and fresh. So please leave a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. It really helps us grow, and we really do appreciate all the love, you guys. We really do.
Tell everyone in their mamas, please. Appreciate it.
Before we move on, I kind of wanted to talk about the first team, Luka and Shea. Now, two guys that averaged over 30 points this year. We're just going to go back to last year. There's a guy by the name of LeBron James who averaged 30 points last year and missed the playoffs. Still made an All-NBA team, but it was the third team. Luka Doncic and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, I get that they had fantastic seasons scoring the ball wise, but both guys missed the playoffs. And these are guards.
I should have mentioned that too with my Donovan Mitchell case.
So I'm kind of just like, all right, first team is like, you guys are like the
elite of the elite.
You guys are the elite of the elite. I thought Jokic was kind of left off of this list and kind of was just like, that's the crazy part about all NBA teams. It's by position. We're seeing, as the years go on, that the league is starting to become more positionless, i.e. Jaylen Brown is on there as a forward, not a guard. He's really a two, but, the way that we kind of use him with Marcus Smart playing the two and then Jaylen Brown's in there, he's technically a three. But as far as just everything goes, Shea had a wonderful year. Luka Doncic also had a wonderful year. They both missed the playoffs. Now, I think there's room for them on these All-NBA teams, but should they have gotten first? Probably not. Like I said, Jokic should be on there, but just the way that the league is set up, Luka Doncic is 6'9", but he's a guard. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is like 6'8", guard, or 6'6", I think, guard. So it's just, like I said, the league is more positionless. It's kind of just like whoever's handling the ball, you're technically a guard.
You like that, Brown, or no? I think we talked about this before. Do you want them to change that, or do you want them to keep that?
I think you should go positionless. We're the 5 best guys.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's
I feel you, man. I think we talked about this before.
A lot of people
I don't want
saying
to.
AD should have been on the list. I think AD missed a lot of games. If AD doesn't miss as much games, he's probably on third team. Usually he would be on this list. Maybe. Usually, I'm just saying, like, as far as guys that usually make the playoffs, it's just tough to put somebody on first team and you make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Straight up, I feel the same way on that.
Yeah.
I like the positions just because, man, back in the day, I'm pretty sure Wilt and Kareem had a fight for position, just like Shaq and whoever was the top big man at that time. Shaq was pretty dominant during the time, but you know what I'm saying? I just feel like even Kobe and Dwayne Wade, had to fight for that shooting guard position. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that, like everyone, the whole league always had to fight for the position. Just because now a little bit you got to fight still. It's like, all right, you don't want to change it? No, like we're gonna make someone pick who's gonna be the first team center and who's gonna be the second team center. But I feel you guys though that is positionless, so I wouldn't be mad too much if they just let the top 15 players go. Then this list would be way different though. Durant would be on this list. Kawhi might be added to this list. See, then the other player we're not even talking about might be added to this list.
Injuries play a role.
Exactly.
Injuries play a role. So I'm saying like this new rule, the 65 game limit is like, hey, y'all better start playing in these games.
Or no awards.
No awards, no money, no supermax, $40 million dangle.
So
shout out though. I'm happy that we're not talking about today. If this was a topic, if Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum didn't make it, it'd be a whole hoopla of how the media or people are controlling their money and things that it's like, thank God that didn't happen. The guys got their money, they're eligible now. So yeah, just make sure that happens. Sometimes it's kind of like weird that someone else has like your money, you know what I'm saying? And controlling your money. But at the same time, it's like, I forgot, it's like also at the same time, it's like everyone's getting held accountable then. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how the league works. That's how it's built. So, well.
Definitely. So let's finish with these awards. So we have the all defensive teams were named. So with this second team, so we're going to go like we did with the all NBA teams. You guys have anything to say or throw in there, we can throw it in there. We'll go team by team. So we have the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo, the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, the Toronto Raptors, OG Anunoby, the most famous man right now, the Memphis Grizzlies, Dylan Brooks, and the Boston Celtics, Derek White. Did you see anything that you wanted to put on this, Gary, or anyone who should have got in and did not get in?
To be honest, I know a lot of people were saying, I seen something about Brook Lopez shouldn't be on the first team because of Giannis. I mean, he does a lot of work, man. I'm not gonna lie. He is, like I keep saying, if we had Brook Lopez on the Kings, I think you could send this to the finals right now just because, again, we're just missing that big man at the rim, so there's no floaters and easy layups at the rim. At the same time, he stretches the floor out, so he does a big impact on that team. Evan Mobley, like you mentioned, I don't see, like, I know you're on the third team right now. I don't see any problem. I think everyone who would have pretty much made this team deserved to make this team. I was gonna say, I like our guy Davion Mitchell making the team. I would like maybe even, I know maybe he's not getting enough minutes or not getting enough clout to make the team, but I think Steph Curry and him can preach that guy can play some defense. And also maybe Gary Payton. I know he didn't got switched around, injured a lot of the year, so obviously not going to be on this team. So I just want to mention his name as one of the great defenders in the league. Obviously stopping a lot of guards, and he's been playing since last year. He's been putting on all the best guards, so we got to give him credit for being on that team. So those are the guys I kind of just want to mention. Am I missing one? Am I blind right now? Goodness. Am I missing Marcus Smart? Did Marcus Smart didn't make a team?
No, he did not make a team.
So Shaun's here. Welcome, Shaun.
And I had a whole intro for you, Shaun. I was about to break him down, man.
Go ahead, kid. Give me an intro.
Ohio's own.
Man, we have Shaun Huckle, man. We think he just left the gym, man. Yeah. He told us he had a baseball game, but we see it. It's a gun show. We see the gun show.
So okay, big body.
You know what I'm saying, man. I saw the tape. I was like, oh, man, we got to make sure we let the audio-only listeners know that Shaun's coming in, letting them know he got them gains.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. So I will always support Ohio teams, but Jaevon, my grandpa was the one from Ohio, but I'm always going to rep Ohio. And I was check my Instagram. I was just in Woodland covering a baseball game. The reason for the tank top, I actually didn't wear a tank top to the gym today. I'm tired of these farmers tans. I am sick of it. So do if I got to get a tank top tan, it is what it is. But white people problems. So yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't know that you saw me. I just want to say real quickly before we jump back into the topics, can we just get a round of fucking applause for Kevin, because he's been fucking killing it today with hosting. Like I tuned in like 25 minutes in, and I was listening my whole drive home, the 45 minutes from Woodland. And Kevin, you did an awesome job filling in for me. And I just want you to take this torch and carry it through the rest of the show for us. Let me be an analyst for this week.
Oh, hey, man, let's keep it going. I'm telling you, man, it's the tank top energy. I'm telling you, it's the tank top energy. Got the hat on backwards. This is different kind of energy we getting. So let's dive into these all defensive first teams. So like we mentioned with Brook Lopez from the Milwaukee Bucks, we have Cleveland Cavaliers, Evan Mobley, Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks, Drew Holiday, Chicago Bulls, Alex Caruso,
They
and
gave the
Defensive
fucking
Player of the
Caruso.
Year, Jaren Jackson.
And
So
I
what
was
are your
gonna
guys'
finish my.
thoughts?
Just want to finish my point real quick. I was going through, obviously, just mentioned Davion Mitchell, mentioning my God, Gary Payton, the second, Gary Payton Jr. Sorry, and I'm also forgetting while I was mentioning one more player I didn't see on here, Marcus Smart. I don't know where Marcus Smart's at on here, and like said, you can say I guess Giannis over Brook Lopez because I feel like he does start the defense for the team, even though Brook Lopez is out the rim for this team. So I would have said those couple players. I know you guys are probably going to mention, I think his name Jay McDaniels from the Wolves. I'm pretty sure that, who was talking about he's the best defender in the league. I'm going to let you guys tap on that. But those are a couple players I feel like quote unquote got snubs. But at the end of the day, a lot of these guys, you can't knock them at all. All these guys are great defenders. Only one I maybe scratch my head on is a little bit Derek White. I'm not going to lie. But that's the only one I'll scratch my head on because I feel like that team defensively helps out. Yeah, but I'm just saying they got a lot of wing defenders on your team, Vaughn. Y'all got Brown, Tatum, Smart at the helm. So obviously he's gonna be some type of good defender too, and a good defensive team. So that's the only one thing I gotta say with that.
Real quickly, I just wanted to follow up on something. Jaevon, can you explain for our audio only listeners why you just laughed in the middle of that? Who are you laughing about? Explain yourself.
Alex Caruso made it over Marcus Smart, the former defensive player of the year, literally last year. The only guard to ever be a defensive player of the year was Garry Payton. So I'm just like, okay, like, I get it. Everybody else, non-guards that are making it. You could argue, Giannis should have been in over Brook Lopez. You could argue, Jaden McDaniels should have been in. He's a wing. So, maybe even Drew Holiday should have been on the list. But Alex Caruso on a team that didn't. I am just livid that the guy that they gave the award to for here, you're the best player on defense for the entire year. Here doesn't even make the all NBA defensive team. Didn't make any sense. It was blasphemy. I couldn't believe it. I was.
Alex Caruso's locked down. I don't know what you've been watching, Vaughn.
I don't know what you've been watching.
More than Marcus Smart.
Alex Caruso, what is
about the Bubblicious run? That was Alex Caruso's name all over it.
Yeah, okay, Kev. I thought you were saying. I was thinking that you said Alex Caruso does not deserve to make it.
No, he deserves to be on that.
He deserves to make it. I don't know what you're talking about, Vaughn.
They missed the playoffs. He makes an all NBA defensive team. Marcus Smart wins all the defensive player of the year. They make the finals. Okay, I'm crazy.
Hold on. Wait. I'm sorry, Kevin. Let's circle back real quickly though, because I got to put Jaevon on the spot now. Because Jaevon, do we remember from Shaun and Vaughn when the bubble first started? And you obviously
I like how he has all your old facts.
I'm sorry, not because he says he talks about someone, and then I remember one of his old takes, and I got to flip it back on him because. Like we all remember, I said the bubble, I misspoke. We all remember when the play-in tournament started. You weren't a fan of it. But do we remember who the Steph stopper was in that play-in tournament with the Lakers and the Warriors?
Caruso.
Was it Caruso?
It was Caruso. So I mean, let's put some motherfucking respect on his name.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying Alex Caruso's not a great defender. He's not better than Marcus Smart. He's not better than Marcus Smart. That is
also they're neck and neck.
No,
he's a little bigger body than him.
He's the only guard to win. Only other guard besides Gary Payton to a defensive player of the year.
Then you should have took Derek White off. Should have took your guy Derek White off.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask Jaevon too. Is I was like, is that a little bit of just your Celtics fandom?
You could take. Hold on. Alex Caruso on second team. Take Derek White off and add Marcus Smart. Okay.
Yeah, I would say Marcus Smart should walk up to Derek White and say, "Buddy, take your name off the list and put me on."
I volunteer as tribute.
Straight up.
So I don't know if you got to see it earlier, Shaun, but Toddy had his phone dangling, so we got to roll into that.
Yeah,
topic.
The dangler. That I heard that right before I pulled into the apartment complex.
$40 million dangle.
Gary, it took me a moment too, because when I heard him saying the dangler, I was thinking of the dangling finger from De'Aaron Fox, but no, he was talking about the $40 million dangler, Ja Morant. Go ahead, Kevin, take it.
Ja Morant has been suspended for the second time from all team activities. Toddy, let's let the listeners know what happened.
Man, they out here dangling. Oh, Ja, this is not good. I like Ja. I really do. I really love him.
I like him too.
I love Ja. It's just, why are you doing these You keep getting caught up in the
too
same.
much young boy.
He's doing. Is it too much, y'all? I don't know. I don't.
I love young boy too, but man,
I don't listen to young boy like that. So I mean, maybe that's probably why I'm not here dangling. I don't know if it's just like, if you watch the video, it's just kind of like him and his friend are vibing a young boy, and then his friend like shows Ja and like tries to fucking slam his phone
help
to the
him.
ground.
Like, what are you doing?
Like, bro, what the
I'm online, buddy. I don't like people blaming his friend. I think Shannon Sharper's blaming his friend.
Knew,
I'm like, bro,
I don't
really?
know if Ja, like, if he knew that they were live or not, and it was
for sure, bro. He's dancing in the video.
Yeah, I'm just like,
shout out to the best energy listening.
Like, bro, I don't know. Like, what is it like? He cost himself $40 million, literally. Not from this dangle, from a different dangle. This is more like of a wave. It wasn't really like a dangle. So I mean, it's just kind of like, bro, I don't know. Like, he's suspended now, so it's kind of just like, all right, you're away from the team. It's the off season. He's gonna be away from the team anyway, so it's like, okay. So like, are you gonna? My first initial thing, like, he's getting cut. Like, I thought he was gonna get cut. It was gonna be over with. Blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of watching Gilbert Arenas' podcast. There were a bunch of guys. Kenyon Martin was on there. They were basically saying, like, he should. This was before the second situation. This was just him, like, all right, off season, kind of got to grind, go into it. Like, all right, you got to kind of put your big boy pants on. And we get it. Like, Ja's, like, younger than us, like, our age. Like, I'm 24, Ja's 23. So for you to be handed the keys to the franchise, like, at that age, younger than that. So it's kind of just like, he is the guy. And it's just like, all right, you're still trying to grow up. He doesn't really have anybody, like, around him to, like, they were saying on the podcast, like, they need, like, a Udonis Haslem. Like, he needs, like, a big homie in the league, somebody that kind of has to go out there. But if you kind of think about it, there's no guys like UD in the league like that at all. So you're kind of just like, all right, who's going to really, he has, like, he has, like, a bunch of yes men around him. It's kind of just like, all right, he doesn't really have anybody that's like, here, be the guy to kind of like watch over him, be his veteran, his vet. There's not really vets like that in the league. The league is progressively getting younger and younger as we go. Like, LeBron is considered it like he's the ultimate OG. LeBron is like 39 years old, and he's LeBron. So it's kind of just like, all right, man, like, where do we go from here? I think
where do we go from here?
I kind of think that's like there's a slight slim chance that he could get cut from the team.
Bro.
But he might get suspended for the year. I don't know. How many games do you give him? 25? Like, I don't know. This is the second time it's happened, so I don't know. I'd like to hear what you guys think.
So before you follow up, Gary, we got an old dad joke in the comments that I have to come up. Uncle Manny, is Ja the Top Gun?
Ja Wick.
Ja Wick. So, Gary, I saw you shaking your head, man. So let's hear it. What do you got to say about Tommy?
I'm just like
getting cut.
The dangler.
I promise you, before they cut Ja Morant, they're gonna cut the owner's foot. And I don't know the owner's name, but they'd rather cut his foot than cut Ja off. I swear to God, they're not cutting Ja Morant at all, Vaughn. I know, like Kevin were talking about earlier in the group chat, he's gonna lose money. Now, is he gonna lose money from the Memphis Grizzlies? I don't think so. I think he's still gonna get paid. Obviously, he already lost money this year
got a contract
because he didn't make All NBA team because of his suspension. So I guess he cost himself in that way. But the Grizzlies are not holding back money against him. Obviously, I'm thinking Powerade and Nike are probably scratching their heads likely right now. I don't think they took the deal.
Nike stood. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. Just say Nike stood by him the first time around. I don't know about the second time around, but Nike stood by him and still released his signature shoe.
Yep, and I think Powerade still stuck by him, even though they might took the commercials off. I think they took the commercials off, but they're still employing him in a sense or whatever, giving him money for his
he might lose that deal.
His representation, his marketing. But yeah, he might lose that. Yeah, again, like my uncle said, he will lose sponsorships. Now, the question is, what will happen? My question is, because that's kind of obvious. Obviously, you make mistakes like this. Things happen, and obviously, like he said, we can blame. I don't know who to blame in this situation. I can't tell if you can blame. At the end of the day, it's really blame on the person. You gotta blame Ja. You can try to say blame it on his people around him.
He
blame
went
it
to
on the situation.
Gary, what you mean? bro.
That counseling was obviously didn't work enough. Obviously, that counseling did not work. And I think we were all scratching our head too about that counseling. Like Burke came back a little too quick and a little too fast. And the commissioner gave him a slap on the wrist by counting, I think, 8 games. And they counted the 2 games that he already missed for the team letting him go. So they kind of already gave him a slap on the wrist. So I know his next talk with the commissioner face to face is going to be a tough one, especially after you went on ESPN to Jalen Rose's face and apologized and said you learned a lot and things of that nature. And it's so sad because, you know, like you said, bro, he's our age, around our age, guys. We all make mistakes out around this age. You know what I'm saying? What can you do? That's life. That's how you kind of dust yourself off and keep it pushing and learn from those mistakes. So obviously it's a mistake. It could have been much, much worse. Like, you know, we could have been in a shootout, could have been anything like that. Having a firearm in the vehicle. Anything. A firearm in the vehicle can go. But I've heard a story of people accidentally shooting themselves on accident. Don't get yourself past them. So, like, those things could have happened. So I'm glad he's okay as a person. But I just feel like, man, there's nothing else to say, but can you make smarter decisions, my guy? It's like, I don't know.
And the cool part is, he can have a gun. Like, he is a very rich person. A lot of people.
Everyone understands.
He can have a gun.
He can have a gun.
No, he cannot have a gun in no public. No, he cannot be having a gun in public. No, he cannot have a gun in public, bro. No, he cannot. He's not.
It could be a free carry state. I don't know what Tennessee is.
No, I was going to get into you for you, Kevin.
Legally in Tennessee, he is allowed to have a gun in the car. He's allowed to flash a gun on Instagram. But the thing is the NBA is a private corporation that is worth billions of dollars. So he is going to tank that image and tank that stocks. And that's when you work for a private employer and they can tell you what the fuck they want you to do, regardless of what state you live in. Back to you, Gary.
No, you just took everything I was gonna say, Sean. Like,
Shaun, what you got to say? It sound like Shaun.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna let you go in a second, Sean. You know what? Go ahead, Sean. I can't even go after that. Go ahead, Sean.
Let it say about the day.
Go ahead, Sean. I can't even go after that now.
I mean, I'm just disappointed. And for our audio only listeners, Uncle Manny's saying in the comments, the league will drop the hammer on Ja Morant. And I definitely think that now he is a repeat defender. He is a repeat offender, and he's gonna be a defender at one point. But man, like I'm just sad and disappointed, like genuinely, because like Gary keeps saying, he's younger than all of us. All of us are in our mid-20s. He's younger than us, and like, yeah, we make mistakes, but man, like Toddy and I, we used to work at In-N-Out Burger. Ja seems to have gone to like the In-N-Out Burger of therapy in Florida because he was in and out of that bitch. He said, I'm going to go back on ESPN and I'm going to do a sit-down interview with Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose asked him like so many questions that like if I was sitting across from Ja Morant, I would have been asking him much more questions to find out what the fuck was going through his head. But Jalen Rose went the cushy route of just being like, hey, so like the one question that Jalen Rose asked that everyone was like, whoa, is when he said, was it your gun? And it's probably because Ja said to him before they started, man, that wasn't my gun. I'm telling you, like, it wasn't my gun. And so then Jalen was like, well, can I ask you about that in the interview? Oh, yeah, of course, because it's not my gun. And to me, it's just I'm sad.
The gun wasn't mine, as I said it.
This guy being Ja Morant is supposed to be potentially right there next to Toddy's guy, Mr. 51 points, Jason Tatum, along with other guys of potentially being the face of the league. And Ja Morant is self-destructing right now. And you can't even blame the people around him anymore because like it was, oh, excuse me. I just had a burp. Apologize for that.
Goddamn, Sean, put on mute.
I'm in the middle of speaking. I mean, it literally slipped out as I'm trying to talk, Gary. I mean,
Shaun. It's a different Shaun, man.
Don't worry about it. People don't know. Everyone knows we're not professional on this. Sean, go ahead.
I blame Dr. Pepper. This podcast is brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
You're now, bro.
Anyways, I'm just disappointed. No, that's free advertising right there. But I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed though, because like this guy has so much potential and he's just tearing himself down. And like, if he's got something mentally wrong with him as to why he keeps doing this and why he thought it was okay, or why he might've thought it was funny, like I can't even criticize Ja because I'm like, I feel like a parent right now. You know, when your parent says they're not angry, they're just disappointed. I'm disappointed in Ja Morant right now. Like, cause it's the second time. I'm just disappointed because all he is doing is self-destructing, and it's just sad for me to see, and that's all I really got to say. But hey, Tennessee, you can carry a gun around. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jaevon.
They gave Gil Gilbert Arenas. They gave him, like, he was suspended the rest of the season. And I think
Gil like 50 games.
Like 55 games. So we didn't see the gun.
But Jaevon, the difference is that all of his teammates saw the gun and that he brought a weapon into an NBA facility. He brought it on the grounds because that was the big distinguisher when this happened with Ja the first time. Is everyone was saying he was in a nightclub in Denver. He wasn't in the locker room. He wasn't on a team bus or plane or whatever. He wasn't in an NBA environment. Again, he wasn't in an NBA environment, but I mean, he's not making good decisions.
Not making good decisions at all. We've mentioned back and forth in this podcast with the new rule coming into the NBA with 65 game limit.
So how many games is he getting suspended? That's what I'm saying. What do y'all think? How many games?
Kev, what you think, Kev?
I don't know, but if it's one game over 17, there's no MVP Ja, there's no first team Ja, there's no second team Ja, there's nothing. He's just another guy on the court.
The $80 million game.
I wouldn't be surprised, like Uncle Manny said, they bring down the hammer and he misses the whole season. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I just want to say one more point if no one else has something to say real quick. One thing I just want to touch on, just a different angle, not just, obviously you say you can have a gun, but I think the main thing me and Shaun and all of us were trying to preach to him is, and he probably knows all this, so it's like he knows, but at the same time, you put yourself in a bad situation, my guy. It's that, brother, you're a role model. You're a role model to the youngins. That's simply what it is. That's really what it is. That's really why people are angry. That's why NBA simple. Like, you're a role model, and you're not the role model. Like you said, you're not a rapper role model. You're not the rapper role model, bro. That's really what it is. And sorry to tell you that. If you want to do that, drop an album and lead the league, and go try to do that if you want to do that. Simple. So if you want to go do that, that's fine. But you're an NBA role model, and you know what I'm saying. NBA role models, they don't do this. Look at one of the best player in the league right now, or one of the best players ever. I really want to say it. LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum. You go to Kevin Durant. You don't see these guys get into that situations, and a lot of these guys, they're from the hood too. Ain't no different, bro. They're from the hood. They got, even if they're from the hood, let's say you're not from the hood, whatever you want to say, they got hood connection, whatever. Everyone has a little bit, most likely, if you're some type of path, you know what I'm saying, unless you live in some suburbs your whole life, you have some type of switches or connections in any which way, know people who are in that life. And you can ask any of those people, they will switch 1,000, 10 times 10 to switch places with him any day, anytime, any moment. So, like, and he knows that. He obviously knows that. So it's like, is it connecting to you all the way? I feel like that's what he needs to get someone in his ear, or just needs to look at himself. I don't know what he needs to do personally. This is like a personal issue that has gone public, obviously, because he's an NBA superstar, which I would just hope that he can just figure it out himself, because, man, oh, man, he does not deserve – he's such a great on the court, and he's actually really great off the court in terms of, if you hear him speak, you met him anytime, things of that nature, you see him in interviews, this really nice, humble guy. His family's nice. You can just see the way he speaks and carries himself. He does high himself. Oh my God, I'm stuttering so much. He keeps himself in high regard. You know what I'm saying? He wants his parents to Shaun, you're muted. Thank God you were muted there. So you're gonna say some talking shit. I think you're gonna talk some shit right there. You were. But I was trying to say that I feel like he's a high role model, so I feel like he should carry himself that way, and I hope he does, because, man, he deserves his money. He deserves to be on the court. I don't want to see him playing. Like, the NBA is greater when Ja Morant's on the court, not dealing with all this. So I hope he can just get the right people, get the right situation, get the right mindset, whatever he needs to do. And last thing but not least, before we move on, Yvonne, to your point, yes, he can carry a gun. I didn't finish my point. Shaun went over it. I was just like going crazy. But the one thing I did want to mention is hire security. All these guys, if you're scared of your life in Memphis, because Memphis, I guess, has one of the highest rating killings and shootings and something like that I've seen, or the most, like something about stealing or something like that, theft, something like that. It's one of the highest criminal rates right now in America. If you're scared of that, because you're Ja Morant in Memphis, you're one of the top dogs in there, hire security. You got enough security, bro. NBA will give you security. I know they will. The NBA does that for all their players who are high-class superstars. Any which way, you can have someone with the gun on their hip that you don't got to have the gun on you if you're thinking about security.
He might dangle the security gun.
And let's be honest with you guys. Let's be honest with you guys. I don't think this is him holding a gun because he has security. I think this is him just low-key on a low-key guy. I don't know. He was trying to flex. I don't know what he was trying to do. His friend caught him in the wrong moment, too. You could just tell. They're just
flex
all
for him,
bad.
Shaun. He was trying to flex. Like, just
Ja Morant being Ja Morant. But like Toddy said, flex for him. Uncle Manny said, why are we ignoring that Shaun's got his guns out? We've been talking about it, Uncle Manny. As soon as he came on, we had to let him know. And getting to another comment, Wes has been hearing you guys, and his suggestion is send him to China. Just get rid of him as a whole. and let's get on. So we gotta hurry up, guys. We're episode 29 of Stats Over Politics.
Hold on. I just got one more thing before we
look at Kev. He's starting to make this hurry. See what happens, Kev.
We're forgetting that
Welcome to my world.
has a pending case that happened like 2 summers ago when he beat up a 17-year-old. Now, if he's found guilty on those charges, on top of the dangles, what else is going to happen? Like, I think it could get really bad really fast for Ja Morant. Just based on all this stuff. There's even other allegations about him pulling up to the mall and on his sister and him beating up somebody, the shit that happened with the Pacers and all that. There's just a whole bunch of shit around him that just kind of has to get. It's a lot, bro. It just
goes on and on and on.
And if he gets found guilty about that stuff, about the kid and all that, that could be really bad too. So.
All right. So we got some interesting stuff to get to, but before we get on to it, we gotta talk about the next generation. Victor Wembanyama. Everyone says he's the number 1 draft pick. The 3 teams with the best percentage to get him in the lottery tomorrow
Pistons
are the Rockets, Pistons, and Spurs. So let's keep it quick, guys. Give me your team that you think the best fit and why. Shaun, let's start with you.
I'm going to go with the San Antonio Spurs because I think that's the only reason why Greg Popovich is still around is because he thinks that his team had a real shot to get him. And like you were saying, Kevin, in recent years, they've evened out the lottery odds. So now the bottom 3 all have the same odds. But I don't know. I'm gonna go with the San Antonio Spurs. Let me mention real quickly.
I got the best.
It would be his team. But Gary, I'm sure I know what you're gonna say as well. But I'll tell. So the team that I will tell you, really. But I will tell you guys just real quickly, the one team that I do not want him to get drafted to, and the one team Detroit. I do not want to win the lottery. No, it's not Detroit. Any guesses of where I do not?
The team I want him to go to?
Charlotte.
No,
Houston.
Not Charlotte. No,
Houston.
Actually, it's a long shot, but Indiana. Imagine if he somehow ended up in Indiana and you have Tyrese
That'd be great for
Halliburton
Tyrese
and Wemby.
that'd be killing it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great for Tyrese. I love Tyrese. I want to see him thrive.
I
don't want to see the Indiana Pacers and Buddy Hield thrive. No, thank you. So Wemby, go anywhere else.
What's wrong with Buddy?
All right, Gary, let me hear it. What do you think?
We don't got enough time to talk about what is wrong with Buddy. I'm sorry, Kevin, to cut you off.
Let's see your thoughts, Gary. Where do you think he's going?
Well, I don't know where he's going. One of the balls may land, but where I want him to go is where I want him to go. Who I want to get the number 1 pick. Obviously, the Kings can't, but thank God they can't get him this year. Woo! It's a good year not to be thinking about the lottery, guys.
Kings aren't in the lottery, Uncle Manny. Talk your shit.
That's why he's my uncle, bro. We think the same way sometimes.
I wish I was in the lottery this year.
No, we do not. Houston, baby. Send him to Houston, man. I would love to see him in Houston with Jalen Green. I got the whole list. Kevin Martin Jr., all these guys. Kevin Porter Jr., I miss nobody. Jabari Smith and Jashawn Tate. All 5 of those young stars. I like Terry Easton. I like all those young guys. All those young guys can really have a place in this league. They all play hard. They got super talent. It would just be a really nice fit with him and Jalen Green, the pick and roll. Kevin Porter can get on the roll. And then don't forget, like I just said, mentioned his name. What's his name? Kenya Martin Jr. That's why I want to say him too.
KJ.
Him and KJ doing good. So a lot of those guys right there, I feel like he fits there kind of perfectly, to be honest with you. Everybody he fits there perfectly. They got enough. They already got the wings. They already got some guards, and man, he'll be the center in the middle that could do it all for him.
All right, Toddy, let us know what you told the group chat, because I know that's where you're going. So let us know.
Well, we're just going to go because, I am a gambling man. Let's just go off the odds
I'm a gambling man.
So the Detroit Pistons are first plus 550 odds. They're actually tied with the Rockets, so they're both plus 550 odds. Actually tied with the Spurs, three-way tie. So it's Detroit, Houston, Spurs are all plus 550.
But what Bagley? Bagley be sent away
there
too.
Goes Charlotte, Blazers are on there. Magic plus 900. Pacers.
Dallas got him.
Dallas. Let me get to my point, Garry. Okay, so my team I think he's going to go to. I think he's going to go to the Pistons. You get Cade coming back. You have the guy that Kevin wanted on the team, Jaden Ivey, who ended up making an All-NBA rookie team, and Jalen Duren. You add Wemby to that team, I think that team gets to the playoffs. Another team that I love, I love the odds too, Orlando Magic. Victor Wembanyama going to get paired with Pablo Banchero, as Gary likes to say. We got who else is on the team? We got Jalen Suggs,
Franz Wagner.
Suggs.
People don't know how cold Franz Wagner is. Oh my god! Because I gamble and all this league pass stuff, Franz is cold, bro. Bol. I don't. Yeah, but he'd just be a poor man's Wemby at that point. That team would add if Wemby gets added, if Wemby gets added to that Orlando Magic team, that would be scary. Now another team on here who is at plus 2,700, all the way down in the Dallas Mavericks. Could you imagine a Luka Doncic and a Victor Wembanyama? Kyrie Irving might be like, hey, we just Wembanyama on the team. Should I come back if I ain't even gotta give me a super bad. Just give me right below the threshold. It ain't gotta be 202. Just give me 190 and we straight. And then you add with Victor Wembanyama to that team, man, it'd be a lot of buckets there. A lot of buckets. But those are my three teams I think he's probably going to go to as far as from most likely to least likely. Dallas needs a lot to go their way if they're somehow they just barely miss the playoffs. So they would need a lot for him to get drafted to Dallas. But I like the Pistons. I really do like the Pistons and how that is. Victor's probably going to wear buffs he's probably going to have the buffs on at the draft. If Detroit gets the number one pick, he's going to be wearing buffs to the draft.
What's the worst team y'all think you should go to? I think it's Shaun's pick, San Antonio. Don't send him there. Ain't nothing up there.
It'd be just him.
Simple. And the guy, I can't forget his name right now. I'm forgetting he's a rookie. The guy with crazy hair. I'm forgetting his right now.
Crazy hair. I forget what his name is.
Sohan. Yeah.
I'm surprised no one brought this team up.
I think you're bringing my team up, Kev. I was going to say one more team.
Charlotte Hornets.
Boom. I was going to say that too.
Imagine LaMelo Ball and Victor?
Straight up.
Got to be healthy. That's my only thing. LaMelo.
And don't forget our guy who's doing his find his own case. PJ Washington, doesn't he find a case?
That was Bridges.
He's about to be going to be a free agent, so he might not even be back. But I mean, as far as LaMelo goes, I mean, LaMelo's just got to be healthy. I mean, him and LaMelo
be cold.
Yeah, him there by himself is just they get to the play-in and they get blown out in the play-in. So it's like, Wemby might be able to add to that, but I think their team's just going to be too garbage just by them two.
Oh man, they'll be on so many national TV games. Those two together.
I wouldn't say that.
We got to get into what everyone's been tuning into. Everyone's been waiting for this moment. We got to talk about the bubble rematches. We got the Celtics versus the Heat. So we're going to go around. Everyone give us your predictions. Everyone mentions Toddy has been preaching 5 games. So, Shaun, what are you thinking?
We're minus 500 to win the series. So.
Toddy, why you got to disrespect our host, Kevin? And he told you earlier, 20 minutes into the podcast, we're saving it. It's Celtics in 5.
That's it off his chest.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say this, but I mean, I was trying to be a responsible driver on the freeway, not send too many comments. Damn near, because when Toddy was doing that voice when he was like, oh well, and then he said that, then he was like, man, we might even sweep them. Kevin, I just want you to remember that, to clip it, because Kevin, I know that you have a clip ready for me about the Sixers, the only series that I got wrong in the conference semifinals. But I got an old take coming back to be exposed on me. But Toddy, we're gonna bring that back. We're gonna bring that back in a couple weeks. When the Miami Heat win this series, the Miami Heat are gonna win this series in 6 games.
Shaun,
they're gonna close it out.
Are we writing this down? Shaun, you got the notepad out today?
Do you want to bet?
Get the notepad. Make sure you get the notepad, man.
Can we please bet on this series? Can we please bet?
Toddy, I don't make enough money to be having any wagers anymore.
All right, Gary. So what are your thoughts?
Just buy me lunch. That's it. It could be
so.
Lunch. How about that?
That's still money.
I just wanted to remind.
We ain't going to Chicago Fire. Go ahead, Gary.
5? You said game 5?
I said 5 games.
You said game 5? So,
He said
Vaughn, I
Celtics
don't
in
understand
5.
how I'm looking at last year, 2022 Eastern Conference Finals.
Last year. Oh my
Yes, bringing
God.
out last year. You guys got the
Not
same team. This team basically the same team too. Game 7, y'all won by 4. Game 7, y'all went to Game 7. I don't know if you remember that. Game 7 versus pretty much a similar team.
And they almost choked. They almost choked it away. The biggest collapse in NBA history. Let's not forget.
Blown out in about 2 games here. So I'm just gonna say, even though I'm saying nothing about Heat, I'm just letting you know that the Heat, if I learn anything from this Heat team the last few years, is never count Jimmy Butler out, never count out Jimmy buckets, Jimmy playoff, Jimmy, whatever you want to say. Don't count Eric Spoelstra. Just don't count the Heat in their heart. But I'm still gonna pick the Celtics in 7. I got Celtics in 7 at home, winning a Game 7 again. Same thing as last year, but just going to be at home this time. And yeah, they're going to beat them in 7. It's going to be a tough fought series. And
Shaun, how many games did you give us?
I
gave the Boston Celtics 2 games if the Heat finish it in 6.
Okay.
Heat in 6. Gary said Celtics in 7.
Celtics in 7. So I've been hearing everything, and I am 100% on both sides of the fence. If this goes 7, I'm taking the Heat 100%. I think Jimmy's going to get it done. But if I had to put money on the line, I really want Celtics in 6. I want to see Celtics in 6. That's what
I was thinking, Kev. That was my first written down prediction here. But then I was like, Celtics in 6. They got to go to Miami and win. I don't see.
We're minus 370 favorites to win.
They gotta win because if it goes Game 7, Jimmy ain't gonna miss again.
The spread is
gonna be on
that 1-3. I was just about to say that 3 from last year, man. That would have been a what if situation. But just wanted to say I did get my Celtics in 7 last prediction right. Just wanted to mention that.
Not good enough.
Tyler Hero will be back in a week, Toddy. Hope you're ready.
What's he gonna do?
What
is he? Like I said, Vegas has his favorite minus 370. We're 8-point favorites. I mean,
y'all, they're disrespectful favorites, and that's what's gonna put the match under the Heat's fire, whatever you ever want to say it. Literally, I just seen right now 80% favorites. What kind of slap in the face is this? Literally beat the Bucks, literally just beat the Knicks, went all the way down to the conference finals. Did the same thing last year, and they still ain't getting no respect. It's don't really making no sense. So I guess if I was a betting man like Vaughn, I'd be betting a lot of Heat right now.
5 games.
Just to get some games.
Gary, I got some stats to back up your bet. I know Toddy's not going to hear this, but this is the 6th time that they have matched up in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat have won 3 of them to the Celtics 2. So the Heat won in 2011, 2012, and 2020 to the Celtics 2010, 2020.
That was
so if you're a betting man, Gary, history may repeat itself and it might tilt the odds a little bit. But I know I brought up that everyone was waiting for this, but for me and Gary, we have been waiting for this segment all show. So, Gary, I'm going to let you start. We got the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. What are you thinking is going to go?
I was about to say it's not Lakers versus Heat. Might be in a rematch of the bubble, baby. I got obviously an old school finals matchup of the Celtics versus the Lakers. I thought this was going to actually happen last year or the year before, but now I think LeBron will come back and now beat the Celtics like he always did. But I'm basically skipping over the Nuggets. But let me say my Nuggets prediction: Lakers in 6 again. It's going to be a Lakers in 6 extravaganza every single round. Again, they're going to steal one of the first 2 games. They're going to come back home, win 2 games, go lose game 5, come back and win game 6 again. LeBron James, first of all, let's just start from this. Jokic, sorry, buddy, old pal. You were a great player. You were an MVP, a top 2 player in this league in terms of centers, maybe top 5 player right now. But so far, I've seen Anthony Davis gives you fits and problems because he's athletic and long, just like you. He's not going to give you no easy buckets at the rim. Yes, you might be able to back him up with your bahoos, whatever you want, caboose, however they say it, and go all the way down to the rim. He's going to go quick and things like that. And yes, Jamal Murray's getting another level, bringing up buckets left and right. And they stole our guy. I don't want to say our guy because, again, I'm a LeBron fan, but stole KCP, brought him to that team. So they got a lot of guys. They're very deep. So I would not be scared too much. I wouldn't be, let's say, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these games come down to the last 2 minutes, overtime, things of that nature. Because that Denver Nuggets team is knocking on the door. I think Draymond said the other day too. I seen listen to his podcast that this team's really coming and really feel like they're taking the next step. So obviously, if he sees that, feels that, I'm gonna trust the heart of a champion. And he sees that, and I've been seeing that. So I'm gonna say that's coming around the corner. But I think LeBron's gonna do what he always does. He's gonna say, "Hold on, young fellas." Hold on. That's like he did versus the Celtics. That's like he did against those Bulls teams back in the day. The Indiana teams, Kawhi's teams, whatever's teams you want to say, even Curry's teams a few times. Only person that really knocked them over the head the first few times because they were the older bunch was the Spurs team who said, buddy, wait up in 2007. It's our turn first. So I think LeBron's going to say, hold up. And like I've been saying, me and Kev been saying it the whole time. LeBron's going for that 5th ring. They got the bodies to beat this team. They're deep enough. They got enough shooting. They got enough in the paint protection, which is a big thing because, again, they don't have a rim protector. And the Lakers now will be going to the rest of the playoffs now. The only person that was a little scared about was Embiid, who's going to be stopping for the rim. So now LeBron is going to have a freight train to the rim no matter who's going to play. Because we know Jokic ain't stopping nothing unless JaVale McGee wants to come in there and play 20 minutes. But let's be honest, how many minutes really going to play and take Jokic's minutes away? Only thing I'm a little bit nervous about, K, before I let it go, that run, and even I think AD said it, and it was a great point. That's why I watch all his guys' interviews, is because what he said was Dwight Howard did help that run and putting that about 10, 15 minutes spell, 5-6 fouls, slap it on Jokic, to slow him down a little bit and just to give him a little bit, just give him a little slap around, give him a little bit of feeling touch up in the paint. So when AD comes in there, that's now he's got to get in the full load. So I would just say that's might be an issue, but I still think AD, if he shows up and shows out like he's supposed to, especially on the defensive end, I feel like we're going to have a couple games like we did last year. We're going to have a couple Reeves games, Rui game, I have a Russell game, I have a Reeves game, but they're going to get it done. Simple as that.
Hey, Gary, you are preaching. Hey, man, Braun and 6. All right, Braun and 6. Straight up. Yeah, like Gary mentioned, that we go back and forth with the Joker versus Anthony Davis, and I think Anthony Davis is going to give him fits. He's been, honestly, the best defensive player in this playoffs, and I feel like he's going to give the Joker a lot of problems. Uncle Manny in the comments had a really good comment. Jokic has a great supporting cast and bench. We talked about Jamal Moore. We talked about Michael Porter. This cast is finally back together and healthy, but no one wants to talk about the Lakers depth. The Lakers are undefeated when D'Angelo Russell scores 17 points or more. Austin Reeves, Roy Hachimura, Dennis Schroeder, the Lonnie Walker show. This team is deep and they play defense. They're going to defend the balls to the wall, so I feel like it's going to be a mismatch. And what everyone's not really talking about is the Joker's going to have to go on the perimeter and guard AD. And we know he's slow-footed. Everyone says he can't jump. He's going to have to go out there and defend AD on the perimeter. And if you switch and put Aaron Gordon on him, it's going to be a problem. Every series that the Lakers have played so far, they've been able to switch. We start with the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson and Dylan Brooks were able to switch. You have with the Warriors, you have Andrew Wiggins and Kevin Looney. You're able to switch. Aaron Gordon and the Joker, you don't really want to switch that AD LeBron pick and roll. So I feel like that LeBron's going to live in the pick and roll, and I think he's just going to dominate him. So I'm taking the Lakers in 6. Toddy, I see you want to say something, man. So let me hear it. What you thinking?
I think there's.
You don't want to see LeBron in the finals.
I think. Okay.
You don't. Come on now.
I think this matchup is a lot more closer than a lot of people are looking at, and kind of just
we're saying it's close. We're saying it's not close.
Denver. I think Denver. Them being the number 1 seed. The Joker been averaging at least. Shaun. He's been averaging like 35. We've been seeing the emergence of Jamal Murray, kind of the same bubble Jamal Murray that we've been getting. MPJ can get hot at any given time. With that being said, I like the Lakers in 7 games. Like we said, LeBron is just been on a different level this whole year. He didn't really play. He didn't really have a LeBron type game until the closeout game in Game 6 when he had that 30-point game. That's the good part. He doesn't really need to average 35. We all know if he needs to go get 35 points, he's for sure going to go get 35. We've seen Austin Reeves. We've seen Rui. We didn't really see Rui this last series too much. We saw the Lonnie Walker game. AD, he has to be a little bit more consistent going into it. But like Gary said, when AD usually goes up against Jokic, it usually gives him some problems. And Kev also mentioned that Jokic is going to have to go on the perimeter and guard Anthony Davis, and I think that's going to give him a little bit of fits on the defensive end. But I think Jokic is still going to dominate in this series. I think it's just going to come down to, LeBron is going to be the deciding factor. And we know his greatness usually prevails in the playoffs. And this is Jokic's, second time at the Western Conference Finals. LeBron's been here. Well, I wouldn't say Western Conference. He's been there much time. But he's been in the conference finals many, many times. So this is no new rodeo for him. And like we said, this is going to be a bubble rematch. But this time there's going to be fans involved. And Denver has the home court advantage. So I think the Lakers do get it done in 7 games.
All right, devil's advocate time. What do you think, Shaun?
And just real quick, Denver's favored, I think, in the series. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like they're favored, but just FYI.
Nuggets are.
Yeah, Nuggets, yeah.
Well, so I know that Kevin was signaling to me as the devil's advocate here, but I mean that's Gary. That's Gary's job. But I just wanted to say real quickly because we have the notepad that never lies. Ooh. When we look at the last round, so I did hit 3 out of 4 of my series. The only one I got wrong was the Philadelphia series for the picking the winner. But when we come to who picked the winner in the correct amount of games, Nuggets and Suns series, we got Kevin. Warriors and Lakers series, Kevin and Gary. Celtics versus 76ers, we got Gary. And then Heat versus Knicks, we got Shaun. So
got 2 Garys in there. Just saying.
Yeah, 2 Garys, 2 Kevins. So you're still not quite in first place.
I'll rock with Kevin. It's all good. Me and Kevin always thinking right.
Man, always thinking right.
Well, I mean, we can review the first round and the play-in if you want to go that far, but I just figured we would talk about the second round. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that real quickly because the Heat versus Knicks series, everyone picked against the Knicks. I picked for the Knicks. We saw what happened there. Celtics versus Heat, everyone's picking the Celtics. I'm the only one to pick the Heat. I guess we'll have to find out what happens in a couple of weeks. Kevin,
picking the Lakers.
Kevin, is that what I sound like?
I don't know why you doing like that.
I mean, it's okay. But anyways, Kevin, if I'm wrong, you can play this back in a couple of weeks. But I'm going with the Heat by themselves because no one else wants to be. And the thing I kept hearing from Jaevon that I just have to address real quickly is
Denver?
No. I just didn't get a chance to bring up these results from the last round to reference why I'm going to be right about the Heat. I had to take a moment. I'm sorry. I had to pull it back.
Okay, we get it.
And the thing I wanted to say to Jaevon real quickly, where he just kept saying, they have Jimmy Butler. Who else? They have Jimmy Butler. Who else? I guess we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out, Jaevon. You named every player on that roster. I guess we're going to find out. Getting to this Nuggets versus Lakers series. Do you guys know the elevation that the ball center is at where the Denver Nuggets play? Yeah.
What is it?
No, I don't, man.
5,280 feet.
Before.
Do we know? Actually, Gary, let's check the stats. Have the Nuggets lost a home game yet in these playoffs? No, they haven't.
No, I'm talking about in general. I think Melo lost to Lakers. I'm talking about people lose.
Wow, we just called back to 15 years ago.
Yeah, people lose in altitude, dude. That's what you're trying to say. Like,
wow.
I hate this altitude argument. I know it's like they get a little tired and things, obviously, but don't tell me LeBron James I'm going to start cramping up and choking up on the floor here, and they can't run down the floor no more and dunking on your head. Trust me, but I don't probably know it's big of a difference. That's what they be trying to make you think.
So they're 5,000 feet in the air, huh, Shaun?
5,280 feet in the air. That equals 1 mile. They're mile high. That's how high up they are. And so my point.
That's a good connection.
Hey, thank you very much. Hey, Gary, I'm happy to educate you because apparently you don't know about altitude.
A little good nugget.
No pun intended on that one. But I mean, Gary, it just seems like I have to educate you on altitude because you don't know what altitude is, and that is why the Denver Nuggets have the best home court advantage in the NBA. Okay, what did we see from the
Lakers? Ain't lost at home.
That is
Kev, right? They ain't lost at home in the playoffs.
No, sir.
Oh, hey, just like the Nuggets haven't, Gary. And who has home court in this series? Who has home court in this series?
The Denver does. And who's going to have after game one?
So real quickly, though, if neither the Nuggets or the Lakers lose at home, like we haven't seen them do in these playoffs, that would mean that the Nuggets win this series in 7 games. I'm picking the Denver Nuggets to win this series in 7 games. I'm not saying that
you better pick them in 6. You better pick them in 6. I don't care anyone says LeBron ain't losing no game 7. And I bet my car, house, everything on that.
I ain't with that. I ain't with that for you.
Hey,
so like that.
I'll bet whatever you want to bet, bro. LeBron ain't losing game 7.
Bring it, Gary. Bring it. It's the world against me right now. Bring it. Let's go. Kevin, earlier you mentioned you wanted to hand Clay's Game 6 gimmick to LeBron, and you gave us the stats to back that up.
You don't need that.
Has LeBron ever played a Game 6 or a Game 7 in Denver? Kevin has he
not?
Oh, really,
Boston,
Gary?
Which is 10 times harder.
I didn't know that Boston was at Mile High. I'm screaming right now.
No, the fans are better. The fans are the one of the loudest ones in the whole building. They're literally one of the loudest fans. And as you can see how the Sixers crumbled. You can see the Sixers crumbled. They're one of the loudest fans in the arena. And everyone knows that we're actually tied with them. The Kings and the Celtics around the league are the loudest fans in the arena. You want to be all on altitude. All right, altitude, man. All right, altitude, man. We'll see.
Altitude.
I would love to be at altitude. I might be there in about an hour or so. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I feel like everything that needs to be said, and or has been said.
Pick the Lakers in 6.
They got the coaching advantage, Shaun.
Yes, experience. Yes, experience. Yes, experience.
Darwin Ham
Michael Malone
finals and win a ring. He did win a ring
as an assistant.
Okay, that's not knock assistants now. We give credit to our guy Mike Brown winning rings on his assistant.
Okay, Gary, but he's asking. Yeah, but Gary, he is asking who has the advantage. Gary, he's asking who has the advantage as a head coach, and I'm saying it's Michael Malone because he has more experience.
I think it's LeBron,
and he has.
I think it's LeBron. Kev, do you disagree with me? I think it's LeBron. I think LeBron has a head coaching advantage. That's what I think.
Oh my God. LeBron.
So we're closing out, fellas. Do we have any closing thoughts?
I just want Shaun to pick. I can't believe he picked Nuggets in 7, bro. I'm about to get on. This is about to be a.
I know we didn't talk about it, but we got a Niners and Steelers Week 1 matchup. I heard the bets are cooking. So Stats Over Politics is really got to get going. So you are listening to Stats Over Politics, episode 29 with Kevin Dent, Jaevon Toddy. Our guy Shaun had to dip after the ridiculous comments, and my guy Garry Singh. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace. Love you, Shaun.